Right back out here on the East Coast for the fifth game of an East Coast road trip for the Florence Yalls. This is Florence Yalls Baseball, the Frontier League Network, powered by HTM, as well as the Florence Yalls YouTube audio stream radio network. Florence's winning streak, it was a ton of fun. It is no longer. Brockton snapped it with an 11-10 extra innings win yesterday, but Florence still has a chance to keep a streak of 6 series wins alive. They would need to win today to force a rubber match tomorrow against the sub-500 Brockton Rocks. Fun promotion night here in Brockton. This is boxing night. We are considering this no longer the Yalls versus the Rocks. They're officially considering it here at the ballpark today. We'll see if I respect it or not. The Marcianos versus the Hagglers. We'll get a little bit more on that story later, but it's boxing night. Big boxing culture here at Brockton because actually two of the greatest boxers of all time are from Brockton. You just heard them, Rocky Marciano and Marvelous Marvin Hagler. So the Brockton Rocks will be the Hagglers today. The Florence Yalls will be the Marcianos. Both teams, this is the first time I've seen it, both teams wearing promo jerseys, including the Yalls on the road. So black jerseys with pictures of Rocky Marciano and Marcianos across the chest for the Florence Yalls with gray pants. Black jerseys with red numbers and a picture of Marvin Hagler on the jersey with Hagler across the chest, and white pants for the Brockton Rocks. So if you're watching on HTN, you see both teams wearing the same color. They're wearing pretty much the same jersey, just with a little different colors on the numbers and jerseys. So that's going to be a fun quirk tonight. The Florence Yalls come into this game at 45-31. Brockton Rocks opposes after an extra innings win yesterday at 34-42. Florence still tied with Evansville. Evansville lost last night in the first wild card spot and second place the division, the Midwest Central Division. A little later start because of the promo. We will head to the national anthem right now and have a short 50 West pregame show. Anthem coming up right now. We'll be right back for First Pitch on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. National anthem has been sung, and we're about to conclude a very short, again, weird timing. Didn't know exactly what the time was going to be, so almost no 50 West pregame show today. 50 West, though, is the premier brewery in the Cincinnati area. At 50 West, every beer is a journey. Join us for the ride, located at 7605 Worcester Pike, Cincinnati. Florence will hit first to the top of the fifth. They are 4-1 on this, or 3-1 on this road trip, looking to make it 4-1. After a sweep of Sussex County and an 11-game winning streak, they got their win streak snapped with a 11-10 extra innings loss yesterday, where both teams used a lot of their top-end relievers. So we'll see what kind of shape both teams' bullpens are in. It's not going to be the best shape in the world. That game was just another roller coaster for Florence. Scored the first 2 runs of the game. Chase Hopewell gave Florence a couple of really good innings. And then after that, Isaac Milburn, a bulk relief appearance, let a couple of Hopewell's runs come in, and then actually it was 8 of his own runs came in. So not the best appearance for Hopewell. Brockton took a 6-2 lead of the fifth before Florence exploded for 6 of their own on a 6-run inning. Marcus Brodell, a 3-run homer. Brett Blomquist, a 2-run homer. Florence had 3 homers on the day, including a Zade Richardson game-tying home run later when Brockton had just taken the lead back 10-9. The Richardson homer tied it at 10-10. Brockton won it in extras with a walk-off sac fly in the bottom of the 10th. Here's the lineup for both teams. It's the exact same for Brockton in terms of who is in the lineup in batting order. Just a change defensively as Bender gets the DH spot today. That puts Seeker in right, sending Slight behind the plate. Other than that, everything the same for Brockton. Florence, all the positions the same except for that 9-hole hitting catcher. It's no longer Kyle Harbison. It should be Zach Beadle in there doing the catching today for Florence. I believe they got it, Harbison, on the HTN stream. But Zach Beadle batting ninth and catching for Florence. Milo Rushford steps in for the Yalls and will oppose the first righty starter of the series for Brockton. And Zach Eldred kicks and fires. First pitch coming in at 6:33. A little bit off schedule, just 3 minutes. I'm going to get a lot of questions about it. Already got one here from Danny Halbrin, and I will continue to talk about it throughout the broadcast. Tonight is boxing night here in Brockton. Change up low to Rushford, started off a ball at a strike. Brockton's called the City of Champions, and it also has a rich boxing history. 2 of the greatest boxers of all time, Rocky Marciano and then marvelous Marvin Hagler, are from Brockton. Both teams wearing a jersey. There's another change-up, ends up below the knees to Rushford to put it above 2-1. Both teams wearing promo jerseys and considered different names. They're calling the Florence Yalls the Marcianos today for Rocky Marciano, and they have a jersey that says his name across the chest with his picture. And Rushford nails one foul opposite way. Brockton is the Haglers today with Marvin Hagler, a picture of him on their jersey. Both jerseys are black, but here throughout the ballpark, they're not even saying Yalls or Rocks. They're just saying Marciano and Haglers. 2-2 comes home to Rushford, fouls it off of his own foot. I have never seen, I've obviously seen a ton of promos, never seen both teams wear a promo jersey. These jerseys were provided by Brockton that Florence is wearing today. They get their numbers right and everything like that. It's just going to be a little confusing seeing black on black, both teams wearing the same color. Another 2-2 home to Rushford and another foul ball. So a pretty good 7-pitch at-bat coming up for Rushford to start things off. Was the only Florence hitter to not reach yesterday. Was 0 for 6 with a strikeout. Eldred working from the first base side of the rubber. 2-2 again is punched foul up into the seats behind us. Well, because of the boxing night, I was told they were expecting about 2,000 tonight, which is what they said would be the biggest crowd of the season for Brockton. Definitely looks like a much better crowd than we saw last night, especially later in the game when it got late. This one is punched over the head of the shortstop and into left center field. Drops in front of Austin White, who throws back in. And a leadoff single for Rushford. Needed that big time after his 0 for 6 day yesterday. Florence in business here in the first. They did score a first inning run yesterday on an RBI single from Zade Richardson. Brett Blomquist steps in. It is his 13th home run of the season. He's played a very good 2 for 5, 3 RBI game. First pitch to him's an off speed in there for a strike. Trackman's got that at 50 miles an hour, so Trackman is obviously somewhat down right now. Or maybe just had a error on that pitch. It was not 50 miles an hour. This is better. 79 on the slider. That's just off the plate, ball one. Eldred having to work out of the stretch early. Ball on a strike. Slider popped up in the air, first base side, foul territory. Slight sprinting over the catcher. It falls in the Y'all's dugout. Long strike to make it 1-2. Lineup today for Florence, the exact same as yesterday with the switch from Harbison to Beadle. Rushford leading off in left, Blomquist batting second at second. Hank Zeisler bats third at first, he's on deck. Richardson, the DH of the cleanup spot, Bobo and right, Broussard at third. Rounded out by Brodell in center, Dylan Baker, the shortstop at Zach Beadle, doing the catching. 1-2 fastball off the plate, evens the count. 91 miles an hour, so we've seen just a couple of fastballs from Eldred here. Both of them off the plate. 14th start of the season for the righty. He's got a 7.38 ERA, and he has not been great, especially as of late. Going through a rough stretch. Misses on that curveball low. And the count's now full. So he had an 8-pitch at-bat that resulted in a single for Rushford. And now the 6th pitch of the AB is coming up here to Blomquist. With nobody out in the top of the first. Takes a deep breath and offers home the payoff. Grounder over to third base. A flip to second is in time. 5-4-3 double play to get the first 2 outs of this ball game. Giordano to Javier to Wold. See if that lets Eldred settle in a little bit. Sergeant Bilko back at the YouTube chat on the audio stream today. Let's start a new streak. 100% agree with you. It's what the coaching staff has been saying all day for Florence. The captain, Hank Zeisler, gets his first AB with 2 outs, nobody on after the double play. Slider misses downstairs. Zeisler still leading this team in almost every offensive category. Fouls a fastball back. There is one that he got passed in yesterday that by someone who wasn't even playing. He had led Florence in on-base percentage for some time. It's been okay this week, but obviously a very good on-base percentage coming into it. So to keep it up, you got to be great. Tyler Schoenfeld is now the team leader in on-base percentage. He was third before this road trip. Off the end of the bat, bloop shot into shallow left. Calero going back, and he's got it. A 1-2-3 inning thanks to a double play for Eldred. C.J. Blowers comes to the mound. We'll see him for the first time. 0-0 going to the bottom of the first of the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. First chance for Brockton to hit after an 11-run day yesterday, 10 of those coming in regulation. They played small ball in the bottom of the 10th to get the one run they needed. Today they will face C.J. Blowers, who just keeps getting better and better in his first 4 starts with Florence. After a first tough one against Joliet, his last 3 have been outstanding. Just to combine 5 earned runs in his last 3 starts here with Florence. Actually, 2 of those starts, one of those being a situation where he was going to be the starter, and then they opened up for him. Still ended up pitching 4 innings and 2/3, doing what he needed to. He will start things off against the Frontier League All-Star, Austin White, who takes a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Not a fastball that'll blow you away for Blowers. Was phenomenal with Joliet in the Frontier League last season. Started this year with Oakland in the Pioneer League. Fastball up at the eye level to White, who really made an impact for Brockton yesterday. Only 1 for 4, but he walked twice, scored all 3 times he was on base. He had 3 stolen bases, and he caused a balk. Just the league leader in swiped bags. Changeup gets all the way to the backstop on the 1-1. Inside for a ball. 2-1 the count. Florence went down in order in the first. After a leadoff single from Rushford, Blomquist rolled over into a double play. Blowers working from the third base side of the rubber. 2 balls and a strike. This one's served into left center field and will drop in. Cut off by Rushford in left. White wants to challenge for 2, and he's got the speed to do so. Leadoff double for Austin White. His first extra base hit of the series. Now Brockton threatening in the first. You know, there's obviously a huge difference with nobody out with a runner on first versus a runner on second. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that because you feel like White was going to take second no matter what anyway. Beadle does have a really good arm behind the plate. Here's another power hitter, another all-star I should say, the big bruiser for Brockton, catcher Derek Bender, who is getting a break in the field today. He's the DH. White dancing around at second. Bender squared around him and pulled it back. I will tell you what, this is a Brockton offense that is not afraid to play some small ball. It's kind of an old school approach. You don't see it a ton in the MLB anymore or in any sort of baseball, how extreme they get. You saw Bender square around a bunt. And he does it again. This pitch is in the zone. It's called a strike, pulled back. It's hitting 329 with 16 homers and 70 RBIs. They're going to do anything to get the run over. It happened yesterday in the 10th, too. Scott Seeker was 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs coming into an at-bat with a runner on second and nobody on. And they bunted the runner over to third with Seeker. That's just their style of play. Curveball just missed outside. 2 balls and a strike to count on Bender. Flowers comes in with a 4.34 ERA. Another off speed. Bender turned on it early. That was with 1 strike, so he took away he decided not to bunt himself. Now, obviously, with 2 strikes, he's not going to bunt. White on second after a leadoff double. Nobody out, no score in the bottom of the first from Campanelli Stadium. Lefty on righty battle. 2-2. White takes off for third. He'll have to go back to second. This one's punched foul over the first base side. Brockton needed that 11-10 extra innings win over Florence last night. They had been on a cold stretch. Front door sliders low. Counts full here on Bender. They had a 2-8 record in their last 10 before last night. Obviously, Florence on the heater. They had won 11 straight. Florence pitching just could not get it done. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Nothing crazy on that 86-mile-an-hour fastball, but Bender just off time. And a big first out on a first strikeout of the game for C.J. Blowers. Against one of Brockton's best hitters on the season. Now this is Scott Seeker, who was certainly Brockton's best hitter last night. 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs. He scored 2 runs himself. He'll take a first pitch, ball top of the zone. Got his batting average up to 300 exactly. There's a good amount of 300 hitters top to bottom of the Brockton lineup. There's 4 in a row from 2 through 5 in the order. Those are the only 4. Front door slider just missed inside, so 2-0. Good horizontal movement on it, 15 inches. That started out like it was going to hit Seeker. Kind of backed him off the plate a little bit. Almost topped into the zone. Missed by about an inch on TrackMan. Seen Blowers mostly fastball sliders so far. Swing and a miss on it there. That one did land to the zone. Two balls. They had a strike now. On the lefty Seeker. Brockton, not a crazy home run hitting team. Bender's the only one with double digits on the season. Blowers keeping a close eye on White for coming home and missing out. That way 3-1 hitters count for Seeker. Defensive alignment for Florence, same as yesterday. Rushford, Brodell, Bobo, left to right of the outfield. Broussard to the hot corner. Dylan Baker takes short with Brett Blomquist up the middle. He's at second. Hank Zeisler at first and Zach Beadle now catching Blowers today. 3-1. Off speed, sky to left. Milo Rushford sprinting back towards the track. It will get over his head and get all the way to the wall. Austin White sprints around third, now jogs home. Now Seeker wants 3. Throw comes in and it's late. An RBI triple for Scott Seeker. Brockton off to a 1-0 lead. He was hustling around the bases after Florence's outfield was playing pretty far in. You know, that ball, there's a pretty big gap out into left center where there's a little bit of a corner out there. Seeker is not a great runner by any means. He's the DH today. But Brockton strikes first. It is the first game on this road trip that Florence's opponent scored first. Now first pitch swinging is Evan Giordano. RBI number 51 on the season for Seeker and already his 6th of the series. He has had his fingerprints all over these last 11 innings of baseball. 0-1 after the foul ball to the cleanup hitting third baseman. Fouls a change up down the third baseline up near the tarp. Well, Blowers has seen some struggles in the first couple innings of games. And he's been someone to just sort of settle in. Might be a reason they decided to open for him with Jet Lotus. Game 2 of the doubleheader against Gateway on Sunday where they got a 3-1 win. Only run that Gateway scored was given up by Blowers. It's up 0-2 on Giordano. That ball misses in. Florence used most of their relievers last night. His total of 5 pitchers. This one's popped up. Had a play near us at the press box. Got a decent opportunity at Campanelli Stadium to make a play. Pretty much directly behind home plate, but, you know, almost above the net. And I'm far enough back to where there's time for a ball to travel here. So I'll have my heads up all game. Corner infielders come in with a runner standing on third, just one out. Pop up, stays on the infield. It's huge. The third baseman, Broussard, almost crashing into Blomquist and throwing his hands up like, What is going on? Blomquist catches this ball on the right side of second base, the first base side. Broussard was holding the runner on at third. He came all the way over halfway across the infield of that ball and almost knocked Blomquist over going for it. They have a laugh about it as Broussard walks back to third base, just really wanted that ball, I guess. But a huge second out that keeps Seeker over at third. 2 down in the inning now. Still 1-0 Brockton. First pitch grounder over to second. Blomquist swallows, throws to first. Blowers gives up the 1 run on an RBI triple. That's it for the first inning. 1-0 Rocks. Go to the second on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTM. Back here at Campanelli Stadium, Brockton, Massachusetts, the final 3-game series against the Atlantic Conference for Florence this year. Brockton jumped out to a 1-0 lead of the first on an RBI triple from Scott Seeker. That's the only run of the first inning that was brought to you by Heritage Bank. At Heritage Bank, we believe your money should work as hard as you do. Visit at heritagebank.com or stop by a branch near you today. First plate appearance for Zade Richardson, off speed, misses low, ball 1. Florence offense down in order in the first, but it was a leadoff single for Rushford and then a double play from Blomquist. Richardson hits a squibber down the first base line that ends up foul before it gets to the first base bag. Wold tried to grab it over at first base. Good start to the first for Eldred, who gave up a first inning run last time out against Ottawa. It was a 7 earned run appearance. Gave up 9 hits, a third of those being home runs. 1-1 skied foul. Actually, no, that's fair. I don't know what I'm seeing. It's high into shallow right, and it's playable for Seeker. So Richardson retired on his first plate appearance. Now 4 up, 4 down for the Marcianos, we're calling them today here in the ballpark. The Rocky Marcianos versus the marvelous Marvin Haglers. Both of those boxers from Florence. It's boxing night. Both teams wearing jerseys attributing those boxers. One gone, Brendan Bobo. First pitch almost hits his elbow inside for ball. Bobo batting average has really looked the same the last month or so, sitting around 280. It's a 278 right now. Off-speed misses. Still having some issues with the strikeouts, but last few games have been kind to him ever since he broke through with the game-winning 2-run double in the top of the 10th against Sussex on Wednesday. Swing and a miss on a slider low. 2-1. They also made him the McDonald's strikeout batter of the game that they're announcing right now. I don't know what their rules are on it Florence, it's always the opposite. The seven-hole hitter goes upstairs, gets a piece. But instead of half-price beer, if their strikeout batter on the other team strikes out, they get free fries from McDonald's. They picked Bobo today, who has struck out on at least once in each game of this road trip. 2-2 chopped foul over to Kyle Harbison, who's coach at first base today. Kicks and fires the 2-2. Grounder foul once again, that same spot. It's not a turf field at Campanelli Stadium, true grass and dirt. And just from my eyes and also being down on the field a little bit, it isn't, it's not terrible, but it's not the best quality infield. You can tell the infield is pretty beat up right now. If you get like a bird's eye view on it. Another 2-2, squibbed in the infield, and it's caught in the air by Giordano. Almost collided with Calero, the shortstop, but a pop-up to short, or pop-up to third. 2 up, 2 down here for Florence. It's turned into a little bit of a long road trip. Obviously very successful so far. They're 3-1, but it's just a lot of travel. I mean, even yesterday, getting into the middle of the night to Brockton after driving after the Thursday night game in Sussex County. First pitch to Broussard's in there for a strike. And the offense had kind of, just stayed pretty mellow in that Sussex series before 10 runs yesterday. Change-up called strike, late call from Will Naleski, the home plate umpire today. But it's in there, 0-2 on Broussard. 2 gone, nobody on base. Eldred working quickly the 0-2. He's in the dirt and bounces all the way to the Florence dugout. Down the first baseline. Both bullpens today are right next to each other. They're both out in left field with just a wall dividing it. It's an extremely short fence out in left. Fires home the 1-2. Called strike 3, outside corner. Boy, this is a good start through 2 for Eldred. 1-2-3 here in the second. 6 up, 6 down. He gets his first strikeout. Brockton leading 1-0. Going to the bottom of the second. Frontier League Network, powered by HTM. Just honored the families of Rocky Marciano and Marvin Hagler, 2 outstanding boxers, legends from the city of Brockton. That's why we're celebrating Boxing Night tonight here at Campanelli Stadium, and why both teams are wearing promo jerseys. Florence in the Marciano jerseys, black jerseys with picture of Rocky Marciano. Marciano across the chest in blue. Brockton wearing black jerseys as well, with a picture of Marvin Hagler and red Hagler across the chest, red numbers. everyone finally off the field after a delay. 1-0 Brockton as we get to the bottom of the second. Couple of extra base hits, scored a run. A double from Austin White. Scott Seeker drove him in with a triple. But that runner was at third with less than 2 outs, and Blowers got out of it, limiting the damage. 6-7-8 for Brockton. Tommy Kretzler, second on this team in homers, leaves a fastball in alone. First pitch ball. Play some Howler trivia in the third inning. I do have the question ready this time. Stephen Gregg, our winner yesterday. Fastball top of the zone, strike 1-1. So the one strikeout for Blowers, 2 base hits in that first inning. Was a pop-up with the runner on third and less than 2 outs, and then a ground out as the third out. Kretzler watches one go inside. Blowers has worked down to the count now 2-1. Well, Blowers has spent some time on this broadcast and has done a really nice job. Doing a little bit of both, just straight interviewing him and then also providing some color and some analysis that's been great. This one's hit a mile high deep to center. Brodell goes back. He's at the track, and he's got it, hopping in front of the wall. Didn't necessarily rob a home run, but I don't think he knew where he was. So he had to jump, thinking he was crashing into the wall. He had some room. He made the play. A deep ride to the deepest part of the park is out number 1 at the bottom of the second. Yeah, trust the defense for Blowers today. He's had pretty decent strikeout numbers in his last 3 appearances after not striking anybody out in his first start with Florence. That's my key to the game, brought to you by Cintas. 1 out, nobody on for Jack Thomas Wold. Keep your business safe, clean, and professional with help from Cintas. Visit us online today at cintas.com. Wold hitting .270 with 6 homers on the season. Lefty-lefty battle here. He hits one out to center again. This time it brings Brodell up. Jogging up, he's got it, ranging to his right. This is just Brodell's second start of the season. 2 outs in the inning now. Had to play center when Tyler Schoenfeld got injured in the last game of the homestand. Jackson Tucker no longer with the team this season. With Schoenfeld still out, this is Marcus Brodell's spot in center field. We had seen Rushford play a little bit of center and not Brodell, but they have elected to go with Brodell in center as opposed to Rushford in left. Brodell makes 2 outs in the inning. Nobody on base. Blowers looking for his first 1, 2, 3. The former Y'all, an 8-hitter, Eddie Javier. Just 20 games with Florence a season ago. And he hit .212, but had 4 homers in those 20 games with 12 RBIs. Slider down the middle of the zone, a ball and a strike to start the second baseman off. This is a Brockton team. We've already seen 3 former Y'alls in game 1 of the series, obviously Javier being one of them. Fastball low. Eli Majic got the start against Florence yesterday. Went 4 innings, got blown up. Still, his team ended up winning the game, and then it was really Joe Kemlich who came into the 10th. Florence went scoreless against him. Gave him a chance to walk it off at the bottom of the 10th. Another former Y'all. Blowers barely misses in, and it's a 3-1 hitters count here for Javier. We'll be watching Evansville tonight, too, and the rest of the season. Feels like, these 2 teams have been tied for a little bit now, so they've just been doing what the other team's doing. Winning the same day, losing the same day. Evansville is in Washington this week, and so Florence trying to take advantage. 3-1 fastball up, swing and a miss. Hardest fastball we've seen from Blowers so far at 91. It was a bit out of the zone, but 3-1 Javier was hunting fastball. Snuck it by him. The count's now full, 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom of the second, Javier calls a late timeout right as Blowers was about to start his windup. Back in, payoff pitch, low ball 4. First walk of the game here for Javier. It's to the 8-hitter. So Blowers really tried to take advantage against the 9-hole hitter and not let it get to the top of the lineup. It's Keegan Calero, the shortstop, who is almost hitting .300 as a 9-hole hitter. You know, Brockton, a 34-42 team. The struggles have really not been offensively at all. They have the worst team ERA out of all 18 teams in the Frontier League. Had some frustrating losses, a lot of high-scoring games. Javier off of first with 2 outs now. First pitch to Calero is grounded through the left side for a base hit. All the way into left, Rushford grabs it. Just first to second for Javier. And they do flip it to the top of the lineup and keep this bottom of the second alive, already with a 1-0 lead. We'll get to Austin White, who doubled his first plate appearance. Third hit of the game in just an inning and 2/3 on Blowers. Now a single, double, and triple for the first 2 innings. As Blowers will ask for a new baseball. Just a dangerous 9-1 to really wrap it around. 2 guys hitting almost 300 and 2 guys that have a ton of speed. Javier and now Austin White stepping up to the plate. 2 on, 2 out. 1-0 lead for Brockton. First pitch slider misses outside. We saw White try to take off for third after he doubled. He's the league leader at stolen bases. You'll see him do it. It was a foul ball, so he had to go back, and on the next pitch, it was a strikeout. He stayed put at second. Didn't need it, came around to score anyway. Watches a breaking ball low. Back pick first. Calero back in time. Zeisler was pretty far off the first base bag, so that's a tough throw for Beadle. Zeisler was kind of sprinting towards first. Obviously don't want that ball to go into right field. One on the count. Offering's a slider, and it misses downstairs. Blowers again down 2-1. We've seen him start 0-1, go down 2-1 a couple times already. The first 10 batters of this game. He's someone who will walk batters. 9 total walks in his first 4 appearances with Florence. Looks over to first. Zeisler throws back to the mound and throws over Blowers. So a pickoff move from the mound to first base. Zeisler, again off the first base bag, had to catch it moving to first. And just casually throwing it back to Blowers on the mound, threw it over his head. Now obviously that ends up going to Broussard on that angle, so nobody tried to take another base. Just weird vibes for this Florence defense right now. Florence down 1-0 in the bottom of the second. A hard line drive into center. That's a base hit, and they will wave around Javier. Throw gets cut off. At an RBI single, it's 2-0 Brockton. Calero gets to second. RBI from Austin White, already his second base hit of the day. Lawrence will have to play from behind a little bit. They've been able to do that a decent amount this season. But you set up a 2 runners on situation for Derek Bender. This is kind of what you were talking about. You got the 2 outs to the first 2 batters of the inning, being the 6 and 7 hitters. Just needed to get 1 against the 8-9 guys, but a walk and a single sets it up for Bender. Slider fouled off, went after the first pitch. RBIs from Seeker and White now already today. Bender came up after the leadoff double in the first and struck out. Struck out at a pretty big moment late in regulation yesterday, too, against Will Karsten. Actually, I think it was McAvoy in the 9th that sent it to extras. Breaking ball, middle of the zone, emphatic strike call from Naleski. Counts 0-2. Blowers with a limited bullpen today, trying to get out of the second here. Another one-run inning. Looks at second a couple times, comes home, fastball up, 0-2, sort of throwaway pitch. Comes set again. Runners take off, fastball up, throw will go to second base on the money, and in time, got him. Zach Beadle helps C.J. Blowers out, gets him out of the inning. You catch Austin White stealing at second, doesn't happen a ton. It's another one-run inning, though, for Brockton. They take a 2-0 lead to the third. Howler Trivia coming up on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. I'm having some fun on this East Coast road trip, and it's a fun night here in Brockton. Third inning, ready to have some more fun with Howler Trivia. Always brought to you by the Roar Agency, located in all 50 states across the nation. First pitch fastball to Marcus Brodell, called strike. Feel the Roar difference with Roar Insurance, and visit us today at roarins.com. That's roarins.com. Florence trailing by 2. Brockton a run in each of the first 2. Florence has been down in order each of the first couple of innings. Brodell a ball and a strike to start him off. So Eldred back out to the mound. It's been 2 innings of one-hit baseball, down in order because of a double play. Just the one strikeout, hasn't walked a batter. Brodell gets a piece, but a hard grounder. It's right at Javier at second. And he throws to first in time. 7 up, 7 down to start for Florence. A little bit of the opposite from yesterday. It was Florence who scored an inning, or a run in each of the first 2 innings. And Brockton broke through with a couple, with 4, I should say, to tie to take the lead in the bottom of the third inning. See if Florence tries to do that. Baker with 1 out, nobody out. Slider misses outside. Let's get to the Howler Trivia question. It's up on Twitter. You can answer by tweeting at me at @big_Ben Howler, or replying there, or commenting on the YouTube audio stream live comment section. Breaking ball, called strike. Now 1-1 to Baker. Read it now, give you the answer in the bottom of the third. Eddie Matthews hit 47 home runs at just the age of 21. He's one of 5 players with 45-plus homers in the season at 22 or younger. Baker fouls it back. Who are the other 4? The other 4 players, besides Eddie Matthews, with 45 or more homers in the season at age 22 or younger. My hints: 1937 AL, 1970 NL, 1-2 up high, 2021 AL, and 2025 AL. I didn't give an extra hint on Twitter. If you're listening, you're a real one, so I'll give you an extra hint here. Both the 1900 ones, because those are tough, are World Series winners. Grounder just barely fouled down the third base line. A late call from the crew chief, Miguel Cruz. So again, the other 4 players besides Eddie Matthews with 45 or more homers in a season at age 22 or younger. Baker serves one to center. It's playable out in front of the track for White. It's got it for out number 2. Tweet at me at @big_Ben Howler. Comment on our YouTube live section. Been having a little bit of audio issues. I see people commenting about it. Hopefully it's a little better now. Might have to try the Sergeant Bilko suggestion, but I'm pretty high up on every level. Hope I'm coming through okay on the home team network too. Zach Beadle trying to stop Eldred from going 9 up, 9 down first time through the order. Beadle's hitting just .220 on the season. He's been on a slide. 0 for 3 in his last start. That came on Thursday. A couple of Ks. Another off speed that misses. 2-0. 1937 AL, 1970 NL, 2021 AL, and 2025 AL. 45 or more homers at age 22 or younger. Foul ball from Zach Beadle. 2-1 the count. Congratulations to Stephen Gregg, was our winner yesterday. Correctly guessed fastball, called strike on the outer corner. Correctly guessed the second most recent player with 40 home runs, 20 RBIs. Or 400 home runs, 200 stolen bases. Thinking of the wrong one. 400, 200 clubs. Second most recent before Trout was Carlos Beltran. Beadle into shallow right. It'll dunk in for a hit. Breaks up that streak. It is the second hit, but again, the Rushford leadoff single, he'll come to the plate now, was eliminated by a double play from Blomquist after. So 2 outs. Florence gets their first base runner since the first. Trailing 2-0 here in the top of the third from Campanelli Stadium. Rushford stands in. Watches the first pitch slider outside. Called strike, though. I like this comment from Sergeant Bilko. Marciano needs to stick and move. Look for an opening to punch Hagler. I 100% agree. Would love if Marciano could punch Hagler here. 0-1 breaking ball misses downstairs. If you missed it, Florence wearing Rocky Marciano jerseys today. Brockton wearing Marvin Hagler jerseys. Both of them are black, the color of the uniform, with pictures of the 2 boxers, respective boxer for each team. Another foul ball back for Rushford. Eldred back ahead of the count now 1-2. Yeah, so 1 run in the last appearance in the first inning for Eldred. He had a clean second, but then the third inning is where he fell apart. He gave up 4 runs to Ottawa. That was back on Sunday of last week. Runner on first, 2 gone to the third. Breaking ball in the dirt. Rushford stays alive at the count. 2-2. This is the last out before the bottom of the third. I'll give you that trivia question one more time. 4 players other than Eddie Matthews with 45 or more homers in a season at age 22 or younger. 1937 AL, 1970 NL, 2021 AL, 2025 AL. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's in the dirt again. Beadle, a late break to second, but there's a deep enough backstop of that ball rolled that he still has plenty of time to get over to second. Moves into scoring position. First time Florence has had a runner there all game. So Eldred went up 1-2 on Rushford. Now a couple of balls in the dirt. Let's see what he can do on the payoff. And Rushford calls his time right as Eldred comes set. Payoff pitch. In the dirt again. 3 straight balls in the dirt. It's ball 4. It also allows Beadle to get to third. Rushford jogs on down to first. 2-out walk. Now on the corners. And Brett Blomquist has a second opportunity after bouncing into a double play. Florence trailing 2-0 here in the top of the third. Chance to get on the board. This is a good guy to have up. 52 RBIs. Just got to the 50 mark. It's the 4th Florence hitter with 50 RBIs. That was with a 3 RBI game yesterday. 2-seam fastball right down the middle of the plate. Blomquist taking first pitch. Hank Zeisler standing on deck. Blomquist hit a 2-run go-ahead home run yesterday. Big swing and a miss. Another fastball. And kind of just got blown by him. 90 miles an hour on it from Eldred. And now Blomquist is down 0-2. Beadle at third, Rushford at first. Eldred trying to strand them both. Takes a deep breath and fires. Blomquist barely gets a piece, goes down to his knee to get a breaking ball low. And won a 79-mile-an-hour slider. I'll have to do another 0-2. Fastball just in. Looked like Lenaleski to me was rising up to get him, and that ball definitely did strike, did catch a piece on the TrackMan strike zone. Thought Naleski was going to ring him up. Keeps Blomquist alive, 1-2. A 1-2 pitch is cranked out to left. Kretzler back at the track, still going forward. He's got it at the track. Blomquist gave it a ride all the way out to the North Boston sign in left center, but it does not have enough. It strands 2 runners going to the bottom of the third. Get your answers in for Howler Trivia. We'll be right back on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. C.J. Blowers back to work against the Brockton lineup that has gotten a run on each of the first 2 innings against them. A 2-0 Rocks lead heading into the bottom of the third. And it was Zach Beadle who actually helped him to get out of the second. Threw out Austin White, very speedy runner, trying to steal second base. It was a double steal with runners on first and second at 2 outs of the inning. RBI triple from Seeker and RBI single from White. Seeker will hit in the inning. It's Derek Bender, the catcher, to start things off. 2-3-4, meat of this Brockton lineup. Blowers to start the inning. Inside for a ball. Still playing Howler Trivia. Got some time to get your answers in. We'll read it with 2 outs. Eddie Matthews at 47 home runs at the age of 22. 4 other players have hit 45 or more homers in the season. They're 22 or younger. Who are they? Backdoor slider doesn't break enough. It's 2-0. My hints: 1937 AL, 1970 NL, 2021 AL, and 2025 AL. both of the 1900s ones are World Series champions. This one is ripped out to left field and will get out of here. That ball just got up in a hurry. Looked like it might have had a chance for Rushford, but it bounced in the Brockton bullpen out the left field wall. It's a short fence, and it gives Derek Bender his 17th homer of the season. Brockton takes a 3-0 lead over Florence here in the third. That's just the second home run that Blowers has given up in a Florence uniform this year. And that ball was just crushed. 106 off the bat. Only 341 on the distance. It's 320 down the corner to both sides. And again, short fence. Both ways, but even shorter out in left. Now Scott Seeker fouls one back. So 5 hits for on Blowers for Brockton in the first 2+. And each kind of hit. 2 singles, a double, a triple, and a home run. 0-1's popped up. Medium depth left. Milo Rushford backing up now. He's got it for out number 1. Calls on Evan Giordano. With 1 out of the inning, we could start reading some of the answers to today's Haller Trivia question. And I actually think as of right now, we only have 1 answer. Only gotten a couple in each of the last because I've been late tweeting them. You're not expecting them from my account like people are from Rory's. Fastball misses upstairs. And the first guess is incomplete. From Zach Browning, we have Junior Caminero and Vladdy. It's 2 of the answers. 1-0 foul back from Giordano. Those both would work. Caminero would have to be the 2025 one. Vladdy would have to be the 2021 one, but that, would be possible. I'll read the answer with 2 outs. 1-1 the count. Slider, this one's killed foul. And one Hobson gets out of play down the third base side. Little early on at Giordano. That one 94 off the bat on a 72-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch for Blowers. We got a 1-2 count. Lines and fires the 1-2. Fastball away. Evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Giordano popped up the second his last time up. That was a big at-bat, too, because it came with a runner on third in less than 2 outs. Backdoor slider misses down low. That was also the play where Garrett Broussard almost ran into Brett Blomquist at second when he was trying to make the play on the right side of second base. Broussard went over halfway across the infield to try to make that play. Would have had a chance if Blomquist wasn't there. He probably would have grabbed it. Payoff's in, ball 4. It's a 7-pitch walk from Blowers. First time Giordano's on. Harrison DeNicola from the Florence dugout trying to give some encouragement out to Blowers. He's walked a couple of batters now to go with his 5 base hits and 3 runs already for Brockton through 2 1/3. 3-0 Rocks. First pitch front door sliders turned on early. Foul out of play down the first base side. Slight grounded out to second, his first time up. Very versatile player. They have an interesting rotation. He started in right yesterday. He's also a catcher. You don't see many catchers who can also play the outfield. Lets Bender DH. They want him in the lineup pretty much every day, even obviously not being able to catch every game. Breaking ball in the opposite batter's box for ball 1. 1-1 here from Blowers with a runner on first and 1 out. Already surrendered a solo shot to Bender in the inning. Ground to the second base side. Blomquist waits on it, turns, and does not throw to second. Maybe a late transfer, but he gets the throw over to first. That's the only out, second out of the inning. But another run at scoring position for Brockton. As Giordano gets to second. Slights retired. Here's Tommy Kretzler. Take a look at the replay on HTN. I think it took one extra hop that Blomquist didn't expect. Kind of had to wait on it. The transfer was clean. I just think he wanted to be safe and get the short out to a decent running slight. Runner on second now, 2 outs for Kretzler. Takes off for third, pitch high. Throw down to third base is not in time. Boy, Kretzler just got, or that's not Kretzler, that's Giordano. Kretzler at the plate. Just got a really good jump. Zach Beadle already has a caught stealing at second today. Kind of high IQ play there for Giordano. Although he's stealing third with 2 outs. Unless there's a wild pitch, probably not a really impactful play. Fastball misses low on the 1-0 to Kretzler. Fastball off the end of the bat. Waiting for it and left is Milo Rushford. He doesn't move a step. We'll get to the answer for Haller Trivia in the top of the 4th. But the third inning brings another run, 1 in each so far for Brockton. They take a 3-0 lead on the Derek Bender solo shot. Florence offense looking to get on the board for the first time on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Florence in jeopardy of dropping their first series since the All-Star break. 4-run deficit in game 1 yesterday that they ended up overcoming and then losing the lead. They are down by 3 as we've reached the top of the 4th. 3-0 Brockton Rock's lead over Florence. 3-4-5 for the Yalls as Zach Eldred has been working nicely through the first 3 innings. 3 innings, 2-hit baseball, scoreless, a walk and a strikeout. Nice to face the Florence captain to start things off. Breaking pitch down the middle of the zone. Zeisler's been steady in this road trip. You know, his numbers not jumping off the page after an unbelievable player of the week last year, last week I should say, where he went 15 for 24. Just throws his bat out, hits one deep to left. Kretzler back at the track, still going. It's over his head and 1 hops the wall. Zeisler just threw his bat out there, and Kretzler didn't have a great view on it. And it just kept tailing and tailing back. A leadoff ground rule double for Florence. It's their second leadoff hit at starting inning so far. And it brings up Zade Richardson. Again, punch the opposite way. Taking a look here at TrackMan. Kretzler realized it too late. 91 miles an hour off the bat. Trailing by 3. They got a runner in scoring position here. With Richardson, who's been great in these situations. Takes the first pitch in the dirt. Zeisler will get to third on it. Got away a little bit from Slight. But Zeisler just really heads up base running. Florence's first run 90 feet away. Sun's making for a pretty cool lighting here. I don't know if you could see it on the broadcast, but it's almost like it's barely peeking in behind us, behind the plate, so it's kind of like a golden hour type thing around the whole field. Change up high to Richardson. 2 balls and nothing from Eldred. Gave up 7 runs at his last start. Not even making it out of the 4th. Working into the 4th here. Richardson pumps one out to left center, and that will get into the gap all the way to the wall. Zeisler jogs home. Richardson around first. A Zade Richardson RBI double as it's finally thrown back in. Florence on the board. 98 off the bat and hitting the perfect spot for the Florence DH. He has himself another RBI after a couple yesterday. They cut the deficit to 2. It's 3-1. Back-to-back doubles for Florence, and up comes Brendan Bobo. Still nobody out of the inning. First pitch way upstairs. All right, give you the Haller trivia answers. Again, other than Dave Matthews, 4 players have hit 45 or more homers in a season at age 22 or younger. 1937 AL, 1970 NL, 2021 AL, 2025 AL. Swing and a miss on a pitch down low from Bobo, 1-1. Zach Browning gets partial correct answers, and he will be today's winner. In 1937, it was Joe DiMaggio of the New York Yankees who had 46 home runs at the age of 22. Bobo swing and a miss on another breaking ball way low and out. In 1970, at the age of 22, Johnny Bench hit 45 exactly. That's the 1970 NL. In 2021, at the age of 22, 48 home runs for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Zach Browning got that right. 1-2 upstairs. Bobo went after it. He's down on strikes for the first time today. 1 down, keeping Richardson at second. That's the McDonald's Fries batter of the game. They got Bobo to strike out. Everyone goes home with fries. The final answer in 2025, just last year, at the young age of 21, Junior Caminero hit 45 homers. DiMaggio, Bench, Guerrero, Caminero. Zach got 2 of those 4, and he is today's winner for Haller Trivia. Runner on second, 1 out now. Garrett Broussard watches a fastball connect on the outside. Broussard also struck out his first time. That was the first. Only 2 so far today. The second being the one you just saw to Brendan Bobo. Broussard had a hit yesterday, an RBI single. That one's in the dirt. Broussard watches it go by, 2-0. Richardson standing on second after that RBI double. Eldred a 7.38 ERA and 13 starts this year. And Florence can't get anything through the first 3. Finally come through here in the 4th. Here's a righty on righty battle. Couple turns to second, now comes home. Fastball, Broussard spoils it for the first strike of the AB. Also important to think about, Brockton might have the advantage yesterday or tomorrow on the mound because Florence is still TBA and they've used a lot of bullpen arms. Brockton has their best starter going tomorrow. Jimmy Gillerin, a righty with a sub-3 ERA this season. So Will Naleski calls time and steps in front of home plate. Kind of motions to the Brockton dugout. I'm not sure what he's looking for. Now Jared Edmondson, the Brockton manager, come out, and the whole infield will converge. umpire crew, I should say, will converge on the infield. No idea what this is about. So I think it's Naleski just forgot the count. And you know what? As humiliating as it may be, you really respect him going out and pausing play and making sure he knows what the umpires. Because we saw already this year, it actually benefited Florence. The umpire forget the count. Call strike 2 when it was really strike 3. Let the AB keep going. Pause at the last second. Umpires come in and kind of a late ring up. So it is 1-2. And Broussard gets a piece. A chopper to the third base side. Pick at third by Giordano, and a throw across the diamond in time. It was hit shallow in the infield, so Richardson does get to third, but Eldred gets the second out of the inning on the 5-3 ground out. And now a mound meeting here with the pitching coach. I love this here for Brockton. I talked about it yesterday. Their pitching coach, that was almost a sprint out to the mound. You very often, it's even a cliche when you talk about pitching coach, a pitching coach walk usually means that you're just walking really slow. Because that's what pitching coaches obviously do a lot of the times, mostly because they're usually trying to give more time for whoever's warming up the bullpen to warm up. Nobody warming up right now for Brockton. Their pitching coach just got a little pep in his step to get out there and get back at the dugout. Marcus Brodell had a 4 RBI game yesterday. It was his second 4 RBI game of the season. He's the game-tying run right now on the top of the fourth. 3-1 Brockton. With Zade Richardson standing over at third, 2 gone. First pitch way outside. Brodell takes. It was his 8th homer of the season. How about this, though? Brodell, the lefty, was his 5th of 8 homers this year that came against a lefty. And Florence hasn't seen a ton of them this year. Just 3 against righties. Kind of reverse splits there. Fastball high this time. He lets that one go. It's 2-0. This one's punched opposite way, tailing foul, up and out of play. Eldred sitting pretty right now at 71 pitches. None of that is a concern yet after he used a ton of pitches to get his 3 1/3 start last time out against Ottawa. It's down to this count, 2-1. Fastball way upstairs again. All 3 misses in the AB have not been anywhere close. Trying to take advantage of a struggling pitcher on the season. 3-1, roped through the right side, and another Brodell RBI as Richardson comes home to score his 5th of the series. This time an RBI single through the right side, and Florence is within 1, 3-2 here at the top of the 4th. That's a big one to come with 2 outs, too, after Eldred looked like he was starting to settle in. The strikeout to the ground out to third on back-to-back batters before Brodell. Now the game-tying run on base for Florence with Dylan Baker at the plate. First pitch to him is a strike. Boy, that looked like the fastest fastball we've seen. It's only 89, so it wasn't. But it looked like some zip there from Eldred. So 5th of the series, 37th RBI of the season for Brodell. He's approaching 40. Fastball blown by Baker, down 0-2. It's especially impressive considering he hasn't played a ton of games. Time called for Baker. Tomorrow will likely be John Gerard either starting or some sort of long relief after an opener. Fastball on the 0-2 misses. Good take from Baker. He has done both. He started, he's come in relief. He closed the game out against Windy City after a long relief appearance from Isaac Milburn. That won the series in Windy City a couple of weekends ago. 1-2 off speed, now misses again. So Baker's fought back to even up this count. Baker flied out to center his first time. Pretty hard contact in a few of his at-bats yesterday. He went 0 for 3, did reach on a walk. He ended up scoring when he walked. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Fastball over the head of the third baseman Giordano, served into left. First to second for Brodell. Inning keeps going. That's the 4th base hit of the inning here on Eldred. Game tying run now in scoring position at the top of the 4th. Does get to the 9-hitter Zach Beadle, who broke a 0 for streak of 0 for 9 with a single in the 3rd. Was stranded after a Blomquist deep flyout. Big swing and a miss on a first pitch two-seamer in there for a strike. Also swung at, obviously. Beadle's got the 1 homer this season, but it came in a huge moment. Rubber match game against Gateway back at home. Florence trailing by 1, hit a 3-run homer. Check swing on a pretty good-looking pitch. Appeal, though, is no swing and no strike called at the plate by Naleski. It's Kirigaka over at first base. It says he didn't go. 1-1 from Eldred. 3 2/3, a pretty good baseball so far. Beadle trying to change that. Big swing and a miss on a fastball up. Blew it by Beadle at 90 miles an hour. Just 2 strikeouts in the 3 2/3 for Eldred so far. Looking for a third. Florence looking to tie it. The delivery. He's upstairs again. Another 2-2 count. So, pitch count obviously got to start to be careful. This is going to be the 84th pitch of the start coming up for Eldred. Obviously is, a routine starter, so can get up to 100 or so in that area. Florence scored 2 in this inning to get within 1. 2-2 breaking ball fouled off. Really good piece by Beadle. Defensive swing went down low to get it. C.J. Blowers trying to see if he'll settle in on the mound. He's given up a run in each of the first 3 innings. Bottom of the first, bottom of the second, bottom of the 3rd. And he's already given up 5 hits today, but Florence is now out hitting Brockton 6-5 with 4 hits already in the inning. Another 2-2. And another foul ball goes all the way to the net. How about this at bat for Beadle? Florence catcher stands in. Eldred keeping an eye on Baker at second. Change-ups outside, and the count is full. It's Brodell at second, Baker at first, to beg your pardon. Turn it over to Rushford. It's reached twice on the top of the lineup. Well, really want to see how many of the 86 pitches for Eldred have come in this inning. It's been a long one. 2 on, 2 outs, 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Foul tip into the mitt from Beadle. It's down on strikes. They strand a pair, but Florence gets 2 to get them within 1. RBI base hits from Zade Richardson and Marcus Brodell. 3-2 go to the bottom of the 4th on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. C.J. Blowers back out to the mound for his 4th inning of work. 3 runs in his 3 innings so far. Not his best start. He has a chance to recover and still got a chance to make it a pretty good one. Florence trails by 1, 3-2 as we've reached the bottom of the 4th. But Blowers still looking for his first scoreless inning. He'll get the bottom third of the bottom of the 4th. Florence stranded a pair in the top half of the inning. The Yalls are now out hitting Brockton 3-2. Jock Thomas Wold, Eddie Javier, Keegan Calero in the inning. 2 of the 3 reached their first time up. Beadle calls time before the first pitch. I think there's some miscommunication, confusion between him and his left-handed pitcher. Something about signs. Pretty good crowd for boxing night here in Brockton. I am just now realizing, too, I'd always wondered why the boxing gloves in the logo for the Rocks. It makes a whole lot of sense now. It's called the City of Champions. I didn't know why that was the case. That also explains a little bit with Marciano and Hagler. Beadle back behind the plate. Blowers still waiting to throw the first pitch to the first baseman, Wolt. He takes the first pitch, hits it off the side of Blowers. It's caught at second by Blomquist. It never hit the ground. Got to make sure that Blowers is okay. And Patrick McCormick, the trainer, is going to come out. That looks like a tough one for Blowers to take. He's pointing at his arm like that was his throwing arm. That is one of the craziest plays I think I have ever seen. This ball is hit at 87 off the bat, right off the throwing arm of Blowers, and popped up high in the air, and Blomquist got it at second at his normal position. And this might not be good for Blowers. Immediately pointed to his throwing arm. And he is going to come out of this game. 86-mile-an-hour comebacker off of the throwing arm of Blowers. That popped up so high. That's how hard it hit. And it brings him out of the game pretty quickly after a meeting. Florence used a ton of its bullpen yesterday. They did not have anyone warming. They're going to have to give whoever is coming into this game as much time as possible. But it's going to be a Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken pitching change. We'll be right back on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTM. Well, he's famous recipe chicken pitching change here in Brockton. Forced one, not a decision for Florence. C.J. Blowers hit with a comebacker off the arm. With a new wing coming into the game, you could pick up the best wings of the tri-state area at Lee's famous recipe chicken. Logan Jones will get as much time as he needs to warm up and come into this game with one out in the bottom of the fourth. Trailing by one to Brockton, a 3-2 score. C.J. Blowers was facing Jack Thomas Wold when he hit an 86-mile-an-hour line drive right back off of the left arm, the throwing arm of Blowers that hit high in the air and was caught in the air by Blomquist all the way at second base. And Blowers immediately pointed to his arm. Florence trainer Patrick McCormick came out, and it was a quick pull. So, in a situation where Florence's starter only goes 2 1/3 yesterday, and they have not even named a starter for tomorrow, Blowers has to get pulled before he even gets to the 5th inning. And now you're just going to need some long relief. Something here for Logan Jones, who's thrown 2 2/3 innings combined on 2 appearances already this week. That was the Tuesday and Thursday games against Sussex County. He's been one of Florence's best relievers as of late. He's flipped a switch and has not given up a run in any of his last 5 appearances, going multiple innings at 2 of them. We'll enter the game with 1 out because, again, it ends up being a line drive to second. Eddie Javier is the first batter he will face in the bottom of the 4th. Takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. Jones, a 6.3 ERA on the season. That's combined from his time in Tri-City with the River Cats before he came over, or the Valley Cats, I should say. 6.3 ERA. Opponents hitting .286 against him. But he's really been dialing up the strikeouts, finds the zone there. 4 strikeouts in his last couple of appearances and just 2 2/3. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball swung at and missed in the opposite batter's box. Gets his first strikeout there at a big one. Second out of the inning. Can make it Florence's first 1-2-3. C.J. Blowers exits. Nobody on base, so his line is final. 3 1/3. 3-run baseball on 5 hits, 2 walks, just 1 strikeout. 9-hitter Keegan Calero coming to the plate here. 3-2 Brockton lead. Bottom of the 4th, Campanelli Stadium. Calero the shortstop. Shows bunt, pulls it back, pitches low. First ball that Jones has thrown. Fastball living in the low 90s. Got a really good cutter that he's starting to use more. That's kind of been the beginning of that transition into, being a high leverage piece for Florence this year. 1-0 misses high. 2-0 the count on Calero. Similar spot to where Blowers did retire the first 2 in an inning, where it could have been his first 1-2-3 with 2 outs and nobody on. Calero singled. Got to second on a stolen base and then scored on an RBI single from Austin White, and he's hit on his arm here. So the 9-hole hitter for Brockton has reached twice now. The single and then a hit by pitch here to get it back to the top of the lineup. Hit by pitch brought to you by Airport Paint and Body. When life throws a fastball, it's your ride. They'll smooth it out and get you back into the game. Submit a free estimate online today at airportpaintandbody.com. White scored the first run of this game and drove in the second run, the third for Brockton being a solo shot from Derek Bender, who's on deck. Calero off of first, look for him to steal. Fastball misses out. I wasn't a stolen base. I was wrong in the second. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Probably just a wild pitch or something that got him into scoring position. Throw over to first. Not much of a lead over there by Calero. Ball and nothing here on Austin White. Hitting .291 coming in with just one home run of the season. Really similar stat line actually to Tyler Schoenfeld. The more I'm thinking about it, these two look almost identical. They're both hitting the low 290s. Fastball out. He's going to try to steal second. Pitch a little high from Beadle. And it makes it late. A stolen base here for Calero. Moves into scoring position with 2 outs again. Couple of stolen bases now for Brockton on 3 attempts. Beadle has 1 caught stealing. But, yeah, low 290s. A lot of stolen bases. White leads the league. Schoenfeld second behind him. 2 homers for Schoenfeld, just 1 for White. Breaking ball down the middle of the zone. First strike of the count makes it 2-1. Similar RBI numbers too, 26 for White. It's in the low 20s, I believe, right now for Schoenfeld, who's not on the trip. Obviously still nursing that shoulder injury after a collision at the plate on Sunday, the last game before the road trip. Jones misses outside of the 2-1. 3-1 the count. Jones 1 out away from giving Florence their first scoreless inning. Florence pitching their first scoreless inning. After they get 2 in the top of the 4th to cut the deficit to 1. Jones, the 3-1. Liner back up the middle and dropping in for another Austin White RBI single. Just now picked up at center. Calero comes home to score. Almost a carbon copy of that second inning. 2-out production for Brockton. They get some insurance. 4th run of the game. It's now 4-2 runs. Second RBI single for White. Well, that run will be charged to Jones. It was a single and stolen base for Calero to get to second before that RBI single. First run that Jones has given up in now 6 appearances. His last 6. Still 2 outs, but a runner on first now. And Derek Bender, who homered his last time up, goes after the first pitch. Jams it foul behind the plate. Brockton with a run in each of the first 4 innings. Just 1 in each so far. But it's been steady production. 6 hits in the first 4 innings. They've hit in timely manners, too. Jones throws the first nothing goal. Bender struck out at his first AB before the home run. 6th round pick, pretty recently, too, of the Minnesota Twins organization. Things didn't work out after his year in high A ball. Have to wait. Another throw over at Jones. Gets all the way into foul territory. Throws it past first, and this ball got away a long way. So White's going to go first to third on the throwing error from Logan Jones. The frustrating thing about that, too, is I think he had him with a good throw. It was a good idea. It's a good pickoff move, and White was really far. Had a huge lead. But the throw, not good enough. First error of the game for Florence's defense. All errors brought to you by GP Editing. Don't make any mistakes with GP Editing. Call Greg Peterson today at 513-512-0300. White on third now. 2 outs in the inning. And just a 0-1 count here on Bender. And he hit him. Breaking pitch at just 83. But I guess it hit Bender on a tough spot because he was writhing in pain for a second. Maybe the elbow where he didn't have much protection. Out comes Toby Hall to have a conversation with Logan Jones. Again, Jones not expected to come into the game this early. C.J. Blowers had to exit after taking a taking a comebacker right on the throwing arm. Jones got as much time as he needed to warm up, but still expect to come into this game. And he got a strikeout to the first batter he faced. But now a hit by pitch, RBI single, and a hit by pitch. They're on the corners with 2 outs and a 4-2 Brockton lead. And despite, the 3 runs that Flowers had given up, he was still at a respectable amount of pitches. And, if he did settle in, could have got a little longer into this game. Make it to the 5th. Now Jones in a huge spot to keep Florence into it. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, already trailing by 2 at the top of the 4th. Scott Seeker at the plate. First pitch way outside on a fastball. Seeker had a 4 RBI day yesterday. Check that, 5 RBI day yesterday. Florence got to be really careful with him. Whipped an RBI triple in the 1st today and then flied out to center. That was deep center. Swings through a breaking pitch. Ball and a strike now. When Jones has struggled this year, it has been with the walks. Obviously, someone who strikes out a lot of batters, but overall on the season, he's got 27 walks to just 31 Ks. With all those strikeouts, just 4 fewer walks. This one's cranked hard foul down the first base line. And the Brockton first base coach has to get out of the way. That was a hard line drive. That was a close call over at first base. But it's just the second strike of the AB now. And Seeker will call his timeout. After Blowers only goes 3 1/3, Jones still trying to get out of this 4th. Runner takes off for second, breaking ball outside, throw to second. Runner comes home and will score before the tag is applied. That run will count. So Florence gets the out, a beautifully executed double steal for Brockton, throw from Beadle to second. And Bender taking off, stops halfway so they can't tag him. Run comes home with a speedy White, and Brockton takes a 5-2 lead on some Little League play as we go to the 5th inning. Florence trailing by 3 on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTM. Lawrence finally got to Zach Eldred a little bit in the top half of the 4th inning. They scored 2, but 2 more to expand the lead a little bit for Brockton in the bottom of the 4th with a perfectly executed double steal. 5-2 is Brockton's lead as we've reached the top of the 5th. Top of the lineup for Florence, Milo Rushford leading things off and taking a first pitch strike. Second pitch in there as well. 2-seam fastball right at the knees. To Rushford, who's reached twice. with a single and a walk. Got stranded both times. Actually was doubled up. First time, swing and a miss on 3 pitches. Went upstairs. Rushford went after it. Just the 4th strikeout of the game now for Eldred. First of Rushford. Now Brett Blomquist. Thought he almost tied it for Florence back in the 3rd. Really good ride out to left field. Left center field, a pretty deep part of the park. Takes first pitch fastball, top of the zone. 2 RBI base hits for Florence just an inning ago. Zade Richardson and Marcus Brodell are their 2 runs. Fastball misses low at 87 miles an hour. The velocity is a couple of ticks down these last couple of innings for Eldred. Approaching 90 pitches on the afternoon, despite just the 2 runs given up. Florence trying to take advantage. Misses outside, and now a 3-0 count to start Brett Blomquist. We've seen this with the Florence offense. Just get on base. And somebody to start a rally. They have had a lot of rallies this season. Blomquist with the 3-0. That pitch is way outside at a 4-pitch walk. So a chance here for Florence to start a big inning. They did so with a similar spot of the lineup. Just an inning ago, it was Zeisler who started off 3-4-5. Zeisler, ground rule double. Zade Richardson a double himself to drive him in. But another RBI base hit for Marcus Brodell to get him their 2nd run. One on, one away. First pitch to Zeisler's low. It was his first extra base hit of the road trip so far for the captain. Still hitting .356 on the year. Leading the league in RBIs with 82. Fastball through the right side of the infield. Almost hit Blomquist. Just got out of the way. He'll stop at second as it's picked up in right by Seeker. Hit on the ground. Another base hit for Zeisler. 2 on for Florence again in the inning. And Zade Richardson, who drove in Florence's first run on a double, comes up as the game-tying run with 1 out. And a mound meeting coming up for Brockton. And again, that little jog for their pitching coach. Take a look at the iScore out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Thornbush Whiskey. Thornbush, the new frontier in the world of whiskey. Bold, smooth, and wildly unexpected. Come try the new official cocktail of the Florence Yalls at Thomas More Stadium today. Obviously, always looking at Evansville. That's who Florence is tied with, not only for 2nd of the division, but the first wild card spot. They are in Washington, just in the top of the 3rd. They're trailing the Wild Things 1-0. And as I say that, Washington just scored. In the 3rd, they're 2-0 now, Wild Things. Windy City, 7.5 games behind Florence after they didn't play yesterday. They are up 4-2 over Tri-City. It was rain starting to come down. I didn't know this was even in the forecast. I saw, fans breaking for the stands. I didn't see any rain, and I wondered why, but now I can start to see the rain coming down. Meeting over, 2 on, 1 out for Zade Richardson. Florence trailing by 3. Slider misses low to the face of the Florence Yalls. It's not pouring. It's pretty steady rain, but it's like, smaller droplets. You can't really hear it anywhere, but you can definitely see it in the lights. A walk and a single in the last 2 plate appearances from Eldred, and he's going to spike one to the dirt. Both runners will advance. Eliminates the double play ball. Blomquist to 3rd, Zeisler to 2nd now, both at scoring position, and a 2-0 count on Richardson. Pretty much all fans evacuating here. Take a look at the forecast in a minute to see exactly what's going on. We'll see how Eldred can respond. We've seen a lot of Florence pitchers this year struggle when rain does come down. It feels like they've gotten the short end of the stick on playing through rain. Misses again on a slider. Already a 4-pitch walk in the inning, and now he's down 3-0 on Richardson. So, yeah, 4-2 lead for Windy City over Tri-City. Gateway still kind of in the picture. They're scoreless in the bottom of the third against Joliet. Schaumburg, Mississippi playing. Boomers with a 1-0 lead at home at Wintrust Field. 3-0 pitch, down low, ball 4. 2 4-pitch walks here for Brockton, and Eldred, I would think, starting to get to the end of the line. He's still got a 3-run lead, but the bases are now loaded with 1 out. They're starting to lose command a little bit with the rain. I don't think it's raining hard enough to be the reason why he's losing command. I got a great view here for the press box. I actually do see some lightning, but because I'm so high, I'm pretty sure that's very far away. This isn't like youth where you have to stop it if you just see some lightning. Here's Brendan Bobo with the bases loaded out in front of a breaking pitch. Swinging at a ball that was well below the zone after a 4-pitch walk from Eldred. Already a strikeout today from Bobo and a pop-up to third. Blomquist at third, Zeisler at second, Richardson off of first. That one's in the dirt, gets to the backstop again, and Blomquist will score. Florence cuts the deficit to 2 now on a wild pitch. Zeisler to third, Richardson to second. Now the game-tying run in scoring position. 5-3 Brockton lead. Just a weird, ugly start to the inning here for Eldred. He had cruised through 3. Florence finally got to him with a 4th, 4 base hits, 2 runs. Now, after striking out Rushford to start it up, top of the lineup. Walk, single walk, and now the wild pitch. Bobo up with 1 out and a 1-1 count. Hard grounder foul, turned on it early. Other scores in the conference, the Midwest Conference. Lake Erie playing an interconference game against Down East, a 4-4 tie in the 5th inning there. That does it for the Midwest. Atlantic, New Jersey, and Quebec, the 2 division leaders in the Atlantic, battling. New Jersey's got a 7-5 lead in Quebec in the 3rd. Breaking ball in, hits Bobo. It bounced and then hit him, and the bases are loaded once again on the hit by pitch. Are they just leaving Eldred out here for this? I mean, again, still a 2-run lead, but he's gone a walk, single, walk, wild pitch, and hit by pitch that scored 1 already. Bases loaded, still just 1 out with Garrett Broussard coming to the plate. A righty-on-righty matchup it would be, and Edmondson out to the mound. Should do it for Zach Eldred, who runs into some trouble here in the 5th inning against Florence. Y'all's trailing by 2, but they've got the bases loaded with just 1 out. And a Hooves Hangout pitching change with the rain coming down on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTM. Hooves hangout pitching change for Brockton. Looking for the perfect spot to relax and open your favorite baseball or Pokemon trading cards? Visit former Reds reliever J.J. Hoover at Hooves Hangout today, 405 Washington Street, Suite D in Alexandria. Michael Santuria inherits the bases loaded and 1 out. Florence trailing by 2 in the top of the 5th. He finds the knees of Garrett Broussard at a breaking ball in there for a strike. Santuria, the best reliever that was not used for Brockton yesterday. He's got a 3.86 ERA in 31 appearances this year. Brockton out in front of a breaking pitch again, and now he's down 0-2. Trying to come in and get a first AB strikeout here would be huge with the bases loaded and just 1 out. As Broussard takes his time out. Zeisler at third, Richardson at second, and Bobo at first. Broussard leaves the 0-2 throwaway pitch alone. One in the inning already for Florence. That came just on the wild pitch when Brendan Bobo was at the plate, right before he was hit by a pitch. Blomquist came around to score. Broussard punches fell to the Florence dugout. Both pitchers failed to make it through five. Now, Blowers a little bit thanks to an injury. Hard comebacker off the throwing arm. He was pulled back in the 4th after just 3 1/3. 1-2 pitch. Leaves it alone again. Slider in the dirt. Counts even. For how poor this team's team ERA has been this year, they have some relievers that have done nice jobs. Santuria, we talk about the 3.86 ERA. Opponents hitting .277 against him. 2-2 delivery is called low. Called strike 3. Boy, that was a roller coaster and just an extremely late ring up by Will Naleski. And that ball's not a strike on TrackMan. With the bases loaded and 1 out, they get Broussard on a poor call from Will Naleski. Second time he struck out today. Now Marcus Brodell, the last chance. 3-run home run yesterday, as well as a sac fly and an RBI single already today with the bases loaded. First pitch, change up at the knees. Low, called ball. I got to take my time here with Naleski because we'll wait a couple seconds to call a strike even after, and I can't quite hear him from up here in the press box. Brodell out in front of that breaking ball. It's 1-1. Santuria spent a lot of time in indie ball. It's his second season with Brockton. He was also playing for Hagerstown a couple of seasons ago in the Atlantic League. 25 appearances there. Fastball misses in and is not handled behind the plate by Slight. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the inning now. 5-3 Brockton lead, top of the 5th. Florence center fielder Marcus Brodell at the plate. Working out of the stretch. Brodell, another breaking ball that he missed, or even a 2-2. Santuria really close to getting out of it. I can tell you this, Brockton really is running out of bullpen arms. They used their best arm available here. You cannot let him give him length. Grounder to the right side over at second. Picked up, a late flip to second is in time to get the out. A 4-6 fielder's choice. Calero pumped to first. Didn't realize there were 2 outs of the inning. They escaped the bases loaded. Jam. Florence gets another in the top of the 5th. They still trail by 2, going to the bottom of the 5th. Halfway home, 5-3 Brockton on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Logan Jones was on the bench for some time for Florence after not expecting to have it to come into the game as early as he did there in the bottom of the fourth. C.J. Blowers exited with an injury, and he got the 2 outs, but not before 2 runs came around to score. It was a perfectly executed delayed double steal that scored Brockton's 5th run of the game. With runners on first and third, Bender took off for second with White on third. Throw went to second. Bender stopped in his tracks. White scurried home. Tag came on Bender after White scored. Got out of the inning, but the run counted. It came with Scott Seeker at the plate, who will come back up and see a first pitch strike at the top of the zone. 5-3 Brockton lead in the bottom of the 5th from Campanelli Stadium. Slider, again middle of the zone. 0-2 start here from Jones. Seeker 1 for 2 with the RBI triple back in the first inning. NAIA All-American at Georgia Gwinnett, one of the best NAIA programs. Foul ball chopped off of his own foot. Goes out of play. Rain still coming down. Looks like very lightly now. Again, I'm not in the elements, so I can't speak for exactly what's going on or what it feels like. But when I look up at the lights, I can see some raindrops. But there's a lot of people still sitting in the seats, which tells me that it's not coming down very hard. They haven't even had a discussion about stopping play or anything. No balls at 2 strikes here on Seeker to start off the bottom of the 5th. That one bounces all the way to Zach Beadle. So Blowers for Florence was starting to get better and better each start in his first 4. One of those 4 starts being technically a relief appearance because he was opened for, but for the sake of the discussion, we'll call it a start. He went 4 2/3 innings. Jones long hold before the 1-2. It's way outside, gets to the backstop. 4 runs in his first start here in Florence. 2 earned in his second and third. And then his best outing was the one he was open for on Sunday, where he went 4 2/3, giving up just 1 run. Exits giving up 3 on 3 1/3 today. High fly ball to left, but playable out there for Rushford. He's got it for the first out of this inning. Brings up Evan Giordano. Kind of on the contrary, the Brockton starter, you could say looking at his starts, he was starting to get worse every start. Zach Eldred got blown up for 7 and just 3 1/3 in his last start against Ottawa. Gave up 3+ his last 4 starts. Slider low, misses in the dirt to Giordano. Ends up exiting with the 3 runs to his name in 4 1/3. Either pitcher qualifying for the win today, no matter who wins. 1-0 downstairs again. Giordano popped second in a walk. Comes into this game just barely hitting over 300 at 301. This is his 4th season in the Frontier League. Spent 2 in Sussex County where Florence was last. 23 and 24. Change up downstairs outside this time. He's got a 3-0 count. He had a 680 or lower OPS in both of those first 2 seasons at Sussex County. Change of scenery, comes over to Brockton. OPS is over 800, both these last year and this year. But he had a green light on the 3-0 on a pitch that missed the zone. And swing and a miss saves Logan Jones from a 4-pitch walk. Jones just 2/3 of an inning, 2 earned runs on a hit. Fastball hit out to right this time, and Bobo comes up and gloves it for out number 2. Fly out to each sides of the outfield.
The catcher, number 27, Evan Slight.
Now Evan Slight. Hesitate to say it again. I said it in the second of the 4th, and it led to runs both times. But Not a believer in the announcer's jinx. Still looking for that first 1-2-3 inning of the game. First two retired for the third time now in 5 tries. Breaking ball's low to slight. But Brockton has scored in each of the first 4 innings coming into this one. 1 in the first, second, and third, 2 in the fourth. 5-3 lead for him. 1-0's low. Slight played his college ball at Rutgers in Alabama. Had an unbelievable game in the first baseball game that I ever called on real radio at Indiana my sophomore year. Grounder through the right side. 1-2-3 inning won't come here. I have seen a lot of that from Slight. Just a hard hit, ground ball through the right side, 99 off the bat. And he's got his first hit of the day. Brings up Tommy Kretzler. Still looking to break out in this series. 1 for 5, but he had an RBI double yesterday. Slight standing at first. First pitch is fouled right back towards the Brockton dugout. All-Star last year for Brockton. 12 homers at the All-Star break. You go back to this year, that would have been like third, I think, in the league. But he's only got 9 this year, which is a decent number, just comparing that to his 12 that came, at the break last season. Jones throws over to first, nothing going. He's got 46 RBIs to go with it, but a batting average that sits below 270. Flies to center and left today. Winoleski asked for some new baseballs. Don't think we ever got you that umpire intro brought to you by Pella Windows. Looking for a clear view of every call. Trust Pella Window and Door, bringing you replay-worthy clarity and craftsmanship you can count on. So good, even the ump won't miss a thing. Winoleski calling balls at strikes. Akira Gok at first. Miguel Cruz at third. Fastball in. Almost hit Kretzler, 1-1. So Jones came in with 1 out, nobody on. He struck out a batter, then hit a batter, stole second. RBI single, the next batter to score him. And another hit by pitch as this ball is cranked out to left field. And that will drop in, get all the way to the wall. On the run, heading towards third is Slight. Now picked up by Rushford. They send him. Throw coming in from Baker is not in time. Gets ahead, over the head of Beadle. And Brockton scores on an RBI double to get the lead back up to 3 from Tommy Kretzler. Call that a double with a advancement on the throw, and probably a throwing error actually from Baker. I need to see again what happened in left field for Rushford. That ball bounced in front of him. A runner on first here. Take a look again. That actually ball that did get to the wall, but it kicked off the wall and got away from him. He had that error in left field yesterday. It is a weird field. Florence playing on a lot of turf, especially at home, and it's just not the greatest quality grass out here. First pitch, swing and a miss on a big swing from Jack Thomas Wold. With the double and the throwing error, Kretzler does get to third, a runner 90 feet away. More 2-out production for Brockton. A 6-3 lead for him, now out hitting Florence 8-7. Bottom of the 5th, hit in the air, shallow left. Shortstop Baker going back, as well as Rushford, the left fielder. Baker barely has enough room to make the play. We get out of the 5th, but another one for Brockton. They have scored in each of the first 5 innings of this game and have a 6-3 lead over Florence on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Hooves hang out, pitching change for Brockton. Looking for the perfect spot to relax or open your favorite Pokemon or baseball trading cards. Visit former Reds reliever J.J. Hoover at Hooves Hangout today. 405 Washington Street, Suite D in Alexandria. Dylan Baker, the first to face a hard-throwing righty, Trevor Annaball. So, that's it for Michael Santuria. Brockton really went for it yesterday, used almost all their best relievers. Santuria was the best one they had left, and he doesn't even go a full inning, so I think that's good news for Florence. First pitch strike to Baker, second pitch leaves off an off-speed outside. Appeal says he did not go. Florence is trailing by 3. It's 6-3. Pitching staff, again, not getting it done. Brockton has scored in every inning so far as we've reached the top of the 6th. Now Baker skies one out to shallow right. Right field, finally tailing under its seeker. Had a weird route to that ball, but eventually makes an acrobatic catch. One down here in the 6th.
The catcher, number 71,
Zach Beadle coming up. Annaball's not terrible. Some of his numbers are pretty good. He's got a 5.29 ERA, which is okay, but 40 strikeouts to 11 walks and 32 and a third innings pitched this year. Very good strikeout numbers. Beadle behind the fastball 0-1. He's got a 92, 93 mile an hour fastball. That one came in at 92. And his batting average against is just 252. Whip just 1.3. ERA just a little bit higher. I'm not sure what the correlation is there. Comes back with the slider, bottom of the zone, lands 0-2 now on Beadle, who takes his time out. Rain still coming down a little bit, not terribly hard, but pretty, steady rainfall. They haven't even had a discussion about stop and play yet. 0-2 throwaway pitch. Easy in the dirt to Beadle, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout today. Fastball just misses again. Really good eye for Beadle. That actually did connect on TrackMan. Not as much fun with the Florence 11-game winning streak being snapped. Still look for a streak of 6 straight series wins for Florence since the All-Star break. Beadle watched that one go right down the middle of the zone. He's down on strikes. First strikeout here for Annaball. Now top of the lineup. To keep that streak going of 6 series wins, they would need to win this game. Dropping game 1 to Brockton last night, just a 3-game set. They're trying to set up a rubber match, but they're down 3 here. Rushford with 2 outs, nobody on. Fastball up and away. Single, a walk, and a strikeout of the first 3 plate appearances for Rushford. Much better day than he had yesterday. 0 for 6 with a strikeout and an error in left field. Lets a fastball go below his knees. 2-0. As the rain is starting to come down a little more, and now you see fans scurry up into the concourse. 2-0, fastball right down the middle of the plate, called strike. Those 6 series wins. 4 of them coming at home, now 2 on the road after that sweep of Sussex County. Off speed of the dirt, Rushford almost went, but he did stay off and has a 3-1 count. Had a really heavy dose of Midwest, West Division teams to start since the All-Star break. Home against Mississippi, home against Gateway, at Windy City, then home against Joliet and Gateway again. Fastball in, a 2-out walk on 5 pitches here to Rushford. Second time he's walked. It's been on 3 times today. Now Blomquist coming up. One of Florence's 3 runs today has been with 2 outs. An RBI single from Brodell. As Blomquist will look to keep the inning alive. Throwing around first and 2 out. Rushford can steal. Fastball no good. Up and in here on the floor at second baseman. Got 13 homers on the season now to go with those 52 RBIs. Beautiful curveball. Starts top of the zone, ends up bottom of the zone. Blomquist wanted no part of it. Strike one, 1-1. That's what makes Sandoval so good and gives him a lot of strikeouts. The fastball mixed with the curveball. Curveball again, this time misses low. That one at 76. See the difference? We saw 74 a pitch before that, and he's gotten up to 93 already in this inning. Just his first inning of work. Fires a fastball at 2-1, misses low again. Back-to-back 3-1 counts. In jeopardy of walking another batter and setting up a two-runner on situation with 2 outs for Zeisler. He's already got 2 base hits himself today. Kicks and fires the 3-1. Is low again, ball 4. 5 pitch walks after the first 2 outs of the inning to both Rushford and Blomquist. Zeisler the game-tying run. We saw a situation with the exact same score in the top of the 5th instead of the top of the 6th yesterday. It was Marcus Brodell at the plate, and he launched a no-doubter to left to tie the game up at 6. Lawrence would love if history could repeat itself. Rushford off a second, Blomquist off a first. Zeisler after the first pitch, fouled back behind us to the left side. Lawrence is now starting to get runners on base. They've had 2 runners on in each of the last 4 innings now. You go back to the 3rd when they stranded a couple, but they have left 7 total runners on in just the last 3 innings of baseball. 2 outs. Trying not to strand 2 here, and Zeisler swung at a terrible pitch. I rarely see this from him, but he's down 0-2. That ball well in the dirt, almost near his foot. And inside. And you can kind of tell that Zeisler realized even before he completed his swing how bad that chase was. He's 2 for 3 today. Ground rule double and a single. He was the one stranded at 3rd last time. When Santuria came in, bases loaded, 1 out, got a strikeout, and a ground out to get out of it. No balls, 2 strikes. Fastball served back up the middle and down for a base hit. Blomquist up to second as Rushford scores. He stops at second. Florence cuts it to 2. The captain delivers. It's 6-4. His 3rd base hit of the day. That time his first RBI. There's just these little runs that Brockton's got. They've got some solo home runs and some really good baseball to score. But the double steal to score 1 to end the 4th. And then, 2 outs in the 5th with nobody on base. They get a couple guys on and bring 1 around. Those are the extra runs that really get frustrating. First at second again. Now Blomquist at second. Zeisler at first, 2 outs for Richardson. Fastball up. RBI double for Richardson to the 4th. Another day, another Richardson RBI. Walked his last time up. Top of the 6th, 6-4 Brockton lead. Change up at the knees, a ball and a strike to him. His 20th run for Anibal, gave it up this year. All of them earned. And it came with 2 outs after he looked really good at the first 2 batters he faced. This one roped through the left side again. That one hit hard, but they will stop Blomquist at 3rd. Kretzler did a really good job from left field of coming up to get that ball back to the infield. And again, with how hard it was hit, 97 off the bat, it just got it to left in a hurry. So, after the first 2 outs on the first 2 batters in the inning, 4 straight have reached here on Anibal. A walk, single. Only 1 run scoring, though. Bases are loaded with 2 outs and a ginormous spot for Brendan Bobo. He was 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Just a 3-man meeting with a pitching coach, catcher Slight, and Anibal. Florence trailed by as many as 4 yesterday, came back to take a 3-run lead, and then lost that lead in an 11-10 extra innings game. This has tied their largest deficit today coming into the inning. They trailed 3-0 and trailed 6-3 that came into this inning. One in the inning to make it 6-4. Brendan Bobo in, first pitch strike. Blomquist at third, Zeisler at second, and Richardson at first after the hard hit single. Could not score the runner from second. 0-1, grounder through the left side. That gets through and will score one. Blomquist scores. Zeisler with the wave, and the throw is late. Brendan Bobo ties the game here in the 6th with a 2-run single. A 3-run top of the 6th inning that has all come with 2 outs. What a rally for Florence, and we got a new ball game. How about your core? 3, 4, 5, all coming through right there after 2 2-out walks. RBI single to get the runners over, and now Bobo brings them home. Richardson's at second. Bobo's at first now for Garrett Broussard. First pitch fastball at the top of the zone. First time Florence has tied this game since it was 0-0. RBIs number 55 and 56 on the season for the Florence right fielder. Check swing on a pitch that found its way into the zone, and Broussard down 0-2 already with a couple of strikeouts today. He's 0 for 3. Annabelle still trying to get out of the inning. Brockton probably asking him to go a few innings today. Swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout, Broussard's third of the game. But Florence ties it all with 2 outs, couple of walks, and 3 straight base hits for Zeisler, Richardson, and Bobo. It's 6-6 going to the bottom of the 6th on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken pitching change for Florence. With a new wing coming into the game, you can pick up the best wings in the tri-state area at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Logan Jones' day is done. Florence will now call on Jake Lynch, who is coming in a huge spot. Lynch just ERA in the double digits in 6 2/3 innings pitched this year. He's given up 8 runs in those 6 2/3. 5 strikeouts, 1 more walk. He's got 6 walks. Opponents hitting .333 against him. Obviously, that's small sample size, but he is who Florence calls on as soon as they tie things up with a 3 spot in the top half of the 6th inning. It's 6-6 in the bottom of the 6th. And it's also 8-9-1 for Brockton. We'll see if he could take advantage in those Rocky Marciano jerseys. There are the numbers, 10.8, a 2.25 whip. 1 more walk, 10 strikeouts. Eddie Javier, the former Y'all, yet to put a ball in play, a walk and a strikeout so far. Squares around to bunt, third base side. Broussard charges, throw across his body, got him. Good play by Garrett Broussard. Javier tried to sneak one on Florence, and that hopefully helped Lynch settle in. It does bring up Keegan Calero, who's had his fingerprints all over the game as the 9-hole hitter. Twice with 2 outs in this game so far. He kept an inning going and then scored in that inning. A lot of 2-run production for Brockton. They've scored 4 of their 6 runs with 2 outs today. Florence scoring the same, 4 of 6 with 2 outs. First pitch fastball way in, gets to the backstop. Nobody on base. Both times reaching, one on a single, one on a hit by pitch. He's stolen a base today. That put himself into scoring position with 2 outs. And then a single the next AB to get him in. Brockton has just played small ball so well this weekend, especially yesterday. Slider low and out. So, I mean, it is weird. If you look at the last 5 appearances for Jake Lynch, he's only thrown an inning and 2/3 in 5 appearances. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in there. There was a rain delay where there's no way he could have come back out with the delay. Fastball out, 3-0 count on Calero. And it's just been short leashes because he's come in big moments. Against Sussex County in a 1-run game back on Thursday. Short leash, gave up 2 hits, recorded an out, he was done. 3-0, can't find the zone. 4-pitch walk to the 9-hitter Calero. 1 on, 1 out. Go ahead run on in the bottom of the 6th for the Rocks. First time this game has been tied since it was 0-0. Brockton didn't waste much time. They took a 1-0 lead of the first. They have scored in every single inning today, still to this point. One on, 1 out for the top of the lineup, and Austin White. Showed bunt, pulled it back. Haven't seen it from him yet today, but he did show bunt in every single plate appearance yesterday. Pitcher's in the zone, so it's called a strike. Couple of RBI singles for him. We'll see if they try the same move they've done twice. Steal with Calero over to second. And that precedes a single from White both times that would score Calero from second. Fouls it back, he's down 0-2. They've got 3 steals on Beadle now today. 4 attempts, Beadle has thrown a runner out. Lynch, a lefty, with a pretty good pickoff move. Timeout called late here by the All-Star Austin White. Bunch of kids converging over to that baseball. 6th inning, let's do some this date in baseball history. Always brought to you by Furniture Fair. Style, comfort, value, that's the Furniture Fair promise. Visit one of their showrooms or visit them online at furniturefair.net. 0-2. Soft chopper foul. Almost like a swinging bunt, but wasn't a bunt. So it's foul, keeps him alive in the count. 1877, on this day in August 8th, after St. Louis catcher John Clapp has his cheek smashed by a foul tip. Replacement Mike Dorgan goes behind the plate wearing a mask. This is perhaps the first use of a catcher's mask in an official National League game. I would say that's a pretty smart decision. Back in 1877. 0-2 again. Foul down the third base line. There's a party area with a lawn down the third base side here at Campanelli Stadium. The seats go much further down the first base side. But it is a fairly large stadium. A decent amount of suites up here around me, too. 1982, California's Doug DeCinces hit 3 home runs in a game for the 2nd time in less than a week. DeCinces hit solo homers in the 1st and 3rd innings as this one's roped out to left. Runner took off for second. It'll be caught in the air by Rushford. So Calero will have to retreat to first, and he almost got the throw there. That was a great throw in left from Rushford. Wow. I didn't think there was any chance for that to be a play, but it was close. 2 down in the inning now, though, as White is retired on an 88-mile-an-hour line drive. But, yeah, DeCinces hit solo homers in the first and third innings and connected for a 2-run shot in the eighth, a 9-5 victory over the Mariners. DeCinces hit 3 against Minnesota on August 3rd. 3-homer twice in 1 week. That's crazy. 2 outs, 1 on, 6-6 tie. Bender way out in front of the breaking ball. Off balance, 2, almost fell to the ground. This is an interesting one. 1973 designated hitter Orlando Cepeda hit 4 doubles as the Boston Red Sox posted a 9-4 victory over the Royals. Garrett Broussard has himself a 3-double day this season. Runner takes off for second and will get there because the pitch was low and Beadle couldn't handle it. Another stolen base for Brockton. That one might go as a wild pitch. First ball of the AB. And again, it's Calera who moves into scoring position. A Bender single can take the lead. 1-1 count. Takes off for third now. Fastball outside, gets to the backstop. So obviously can't get the runner at third. Hits hard enough off, there's no turn home. You want to look at the bright side. You're lucky that happened now and not the next pitch. Obviously you have no idea what's going on next. Toby Hall will have another one of his mid-AB mound meetings with Jake Lynch. Whole infield comes in. 1916, the Athletics set an AL record with their 19th loss in a row on the road. The streak began on July 25th, making it a record for losses in 2 weeks. They lost 19 times in 2 weeks. What was the schedule like back in 1916? Another 4-double game. I like this one because of the name. Philadelphia's Gravy Kravitz. Or it's Gavy Kravitz. I thought I saw Gravy. Hit 4 doubles and drove in 8 runs at a 14-7 victory over the Reds in Cincinnati. Call back in the dugout. Runner on third with 2 outs at a tie game here in the 6th. Foul back on the 2-1, so we're even at 2. When we talk about 2-out production, in 1954, the Brooklyn Dodgers pounded the Cincinnati Reds 20-7 at Ebbets Field. The Dodgers scored 13 runs in the 8th inning after 2 outs. Slider high, we're now full on Bender. First base is open, as well as second base. 3-2. Line drive back up the middle, and it drops in for another base hit. 5th 2-out run for Brockton as they take the lead 7-6 here in the 6th. Again, where the runner gets into scoring position on either stolen base or a wild pitch. It's just death by 1,000 cuts from this Brockton team, who's 34-42 this year. But they are just playing really good and intentional small ball. It's just eating Florence up all game. It's almost been, really two really close games so far, obviously. That's been 2 different types of play. Seeker comes in and has to get out of the way of the first pitch inside. Florence is doing it all with power. They had 3 home runs yesterday. They're getting RBI base hits. Not stealing many bases, not bunting, not many sac flies. Brockton's doing all of that. Grounder back up the middle on a dive. Baker picks it up, goes to second in time for the out. That's a really nice play by Baker for the 6th unassisted fielder's choice. Brockton takes the lead here in the 6th. They have still scored in every inning of this game. 7-6, go to the 7th on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Back here in the top of the 7th, Florence now trailing by 1. It's 7-6, and another Hooves Hangout pitching change for Brockton. They go to Pierce Williams, who's got an 8 ERA. Florence got to him at the end of his appearance yesterday, but he did pitch in yesterday's game. As always, if you're looking for the perfect spot to relax and open your favorite Pokemon or baseball trading cards, visit former Reds reliever J.J. Hoover at Hooves Hangout today. 405 Washington Street, Suite D in Alexandria. Before we get a first pitch, equipment exchange with the Brockton catcher, Evan Slight. Williams, an inning and 2/3, 1 earned run baseball yesterday. He came in and had a really clean inning. 1, 2, 3. And then it was Zade Richardson who ended his night. In a 1-run game, it was 10-9 Brockton. Came in and Richardson roped a home run, pulled it to the left field, tied the game. That was it for Williams. Then came O'Donnell, who shoved against Florence. Marcus Brodell to start things off. The lefty has been hot. Just 1 for 3 today, but got 5 RBIs this series. 3-run homer and a sac fly yesterday and an RBI single today. First pitch strike at the knees. Now a slider low from Williams. There really are just a ton of lefties in this Brockton bullpen. We saw 3 of them yesterday. Williams, being one of them. But they're going to pull out again in this game. Ball on a strike. Grounder, left side, and that gets through. There wasn't much of a gap between Giordano and Calero, but it gets all the way into left, just snuck in. Brodell's second single of the day. Game-tying run on for Florence, leading off the 7th. Sergeant Bilko said, our turn to play some small ball for a win, maybe. You don't see it a lot for Florence, and it's a team that hits a lot of home runs. Obviously, they're doing something right offensively this year. 2nd in the league in runs scored. So we'll see if they try it anymore, because Brockton's done it a ton in these first 2 games of the series. It's Baker with 1 on and nobody out. Takes a first pitch fastball outside. So they go to the lefty here. I'm thinking long term, because the first 3 batters he would face here in the 7th, 2 of them are righties, Baker and Beadle. 1-0 change up top of the zone, called strike, but we've seen a lot of teams just like to go lefties because Florence has hit them well, but still, Zeisler and Bobo, being 2 of Florence's best hitters, are both left-handed. Again, Williams, another pitcher with not a great ERA, higher than the starter, Eldred today. Throw over to first. 8.04 coming into this game. That actually got a little better after his inning and 2/3 of 1 run yesterday. Actually, it stayed about the same. Opponents batting .281 against him this year. Bouncer in the dirt. Brodell sprinting for second. There will be a throw from Slight. No chance. 1 hops to second. And now with nobody out, we have a runner in scoring position, the game-tying runner in scoring position. If you were to play small ball, what Brockton would do, it would probably lay a bunt down here for Baker and see if Beadle can get anything in the air, could score him from third of less than 2 outs. But Baker hasn't bunted a ton this year, and I don't expect Florence to do that. 2-1's the count for this lefty on righty battle. Big swing and a miss, fouled back. That definitely eliminates the bunt chance, as the count's now 2-2. Brockton came into the series ice cold, losing 8 of their last 10. Florence obviously won 10 of their last 10 with that 11-game winning streak. For the offense stays hot. Breaking ball in, counts now full on Baker. Top of the lineup's been great today for Florence, and it was all the top of the lineup in the rally last inning. Baker and then Beadle were the first 2 batters of the inning. They were both out. With nobody on at 2 outs, Florence scored all 3 of their runs to tie the game up. Brockton scores one in the bottom half, 7-6 Rocks. Payoff pitch with a runner on second before we get it a throw over to second. Brodell in there safely. Brodell, the center fielder for Florence. He's a good runner. Lefty Williams back set for the 3-2. Payoff. Is squibbed out to left center and drops it for a base hit, a bloop single. Brodell kind of in between to see if it gets caught. It doesn't. It falls in between the shortstop, Calero going back, and Kretzler coming in. And they're on the corners now with nobody out for the 9-hitting Zach Beadle. Short mound meeting here. Pitching coach comes out for Brockton. You know, Beadle hitting 220 this year, but he's got a hit today. Even if you were, you know, Florence is never a team that does these pinch hitting situations with their catchers. Even if you were, you don't have a pinch hitter available. Kyle Harbison would be the only one. He would replace him catching. 12 on the active roster, offensive players. One of them being Tyler Schoenfeld's not on the trip after getting injured on Sunday. The other being Jackson Tucker, who played his final game of the season, most likely out at Sussex County, starting a new opportunity.
The catcher, number 71, Zach Beadle.
Mound meeting over. Game tying run at third. Go ahead run at first. Nobody out, 9-hitter in the top of the 7th. Beadle takes the first pitch, fouls it down the first base side. Again, we had talked about how Brockton has really exhausted all of their high leverage relievers in the first 2 games of the series. Even if they have one or two that can pitch again today, one of them being Williams, who is not one of their better guys. 0-1. It's fouled back. Now Williams has started Beadle off 0-2. Milo Rushford stands on deck, the top of the Florence lineup. Back-to-back singles in the 7th. Florence now out hitting Brockton by 3, 12-9. They out hit Brockton yesterday too. But an 0-2 count here on Beadle. Way upstairs. Really good job by Slight behind the plate to keep it in front. Well, this is obviously a situation where if you're Brockton, what you really want is a strikeout. Williams, a big strikeout guy, 72 of them in 65 innings pitched this year to just 43 walks. Fastball, Beadle fouled off his own shin, putting together another pretty nice at bat. Sergeant Bilko III, like that comment. I agree. Blew better than a bunt, I suppose. All worked out the same, and obviously gets Baker on. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Beadle down on strikes. That's his 3rd strikeout. Now his 6th of the week in 4 starts. Keeps the runners put at the corners, but now it's Milo Rushford with 1 out. Still a sacrifice situation, and Rushford is 1 for 3, but he's reached 3 times, or 1 for 2, reached 3 times with a couple of walks. And a single back in the 1st. Beautiful sweeper, just misses low here to Rushford. And 1 at 79. 37 RBIs on the season for Florence's everyday left fielder. Got his 7th home run 2 nights ago in Sussex County. He's got some pop. Lets a fastball go by down the middle of the plate. Top 3rd of the zone. And there's strikeout number 73 for Williams. Of Beadle, he actually leads this Brockton team in Ks. They've gone with a couple of strikeout guys in this game already out of the pen. Backdoor slider, yes, in there for a strike. Now he's ahead 1-2 on Rushford. Blomquist on deck if it gets there, barring a double play. 1-2 is low. Good take by Rushford. Slider, and ended up barely just getting off the ground. Florence wants to keep this streak alive and win their 7th straight series. They would need to win today to force a rubber match tomorrow against a Brockton team that's well under 500. First and third with 1 out, down by 1 of the 7th. 2-2, grounder, high chopper, back up the middle, picked up and stepped on second, Rushford to first, not in time. It's a 6-3 double play to get out of the inning. First and third with nobody out, the game-tying run 90 feet away, a strikeout and a double play to get Williams out. Time to stretch, Florence still trails, another back-breaking inning. So we go to the bottom of the 7th with the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Brockton has scored in each of the first 6 innings of this game, 2 back in the 4th. So that gives them 7. Florence trailing by 1, 7-6 as we've gotten to the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitching staff just not able to figure it out in this series for Florence as Jake Lynch heads back out for his 2nd inning of work against the middle third of the Brockton lineup. Fastball misses outside of the cleanup hitting Evan Giordano, playing third base today. Reached on a walk, pop up and a fly out. Make him 0 for 2. One 0 pitch is low. 2 balls and nothing. Lynch, again, the 3rd time this game that Florence had gotten 2 outs before anybody reaches. Actually, this time it was 1 out, then a walk, but then he got the 2nd out. Still with the runner at first. 3-0 count here on Giordano. Fastball up. But he stole second base and then a single brought him in. They've done that 3 times today. They've scored 5 of their 7 runs with 2 outs. 4-pitch walk. Late again from Will Naleski. That one did catch a piece on the outside corner, and Naleski, it's just extremely late on calling strikes behind the plate. But it is a 3-1 count now on Giordano. That one is way up and out for ball 4. Second walk that Lynch has allowed now. If you're Florence, you kind of need it to be Lynch. Already used Jones for a couple innings today after Blowers had to exit after taking a line drive off the throwing arm back in the 4th. And you don't even have a starter name tomorrow. We assume it'll be John Gerard at some capacity, whether it's bulk relief or a start. 1 on, nobody out for the 5-hitting Slight, who squares around a bunt. Back pick to first, got him. Oh, what a throw from Beadle. Pitch inside. The bunt was, Slight, who did, keep it in there and missed it. So that's why Giordano was pretty far off the first base bag. Saw the bunt still laid down. Wanted to hustle over to second base, but that's a little bit more on Slight, who just totally missed it. 1 out in the inning now, 0-1's the count. Fastball up and in. Backslide off. But, that kind of shows. It's something we've been talked about all broadcast long. It does not matter who it is. If you are in the Brockton lineup, you have to bunt. You have to be able to bunt, and they're going to bunt you over. You have a runner on first and nobody out. 1-1 slider misses outside. It gets all the way to the backstop. A 2-1 count. They've done it with Derek Bender, the best hitter on the team. Did it yesterday with Scott Seeker, who was 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs up to that point. The small ball rocks has gotten all over Florence in both games of this series so far. 7-6 Rocks lead, fastball in, 2-1 count. Now on the Brockton catcher. He was the one who started the rally in the 5th, a 2-out single, and scored on the 2 RBI double. Went back on Logan Jones, and he is plunked on a fastball right between the numbers. Toby Hall to the top step, and he will walk out to the mound. We'll see if it's just a meeting. As Evan Slight, the catcher, needs a minute after getting hit on the back. For now, this looks like just a meeting from the Florence manager, Toby Hall. Bottom of the 7th, 7-6 Brockton lead. Back pick after a leadoff single. Well, that is going to be it for Jake Lynch. So 1 on, 1 out. Lynch's day is done here in the bottom of the 7th. Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken pitching change here for Florence with a new wing coming into the game. You can pick up the best wing of the tri-state area at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. It's Jet Lotus coming in to a 1-run game with a runner on first and 1 out of the bottom of the 7th. Florence down to their last 6 outs. They would love to keep Brockton from getting an insurance run, but the Rocks have scored at least 1 in all 6 innings of this game so far. They're trying to make it 7. Before Lotus throws his first pitch, Zach Beadle out to have a conversation with him. Last time out for Lotus was last night. 2/3 of an inning, couple of walks. He got the 2 outs, but he inherited the bases, or he came in with the bases loaded, And the two walks both, walked a run home. He actually came in with a 1-run lead and exited giving Brockton the lead. Ended up winning by 1. Beadle back behind the plate. Lotus's first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner, a strike. Well, other than that appearance, Lotus, which again, didn't give up any runs, but he did walk a couple of runs in that weren't his. It's been one of Florence's best reliever, an ERA exactly at 1. This season, 18 innings, has given up just 2 runs. Sky high, medium depth center, Brodell waiting, and has it for out number 2. If you're a Florence fan and you're trying to take a little bit of a deep breath now that Florence got their second out of the inning, do not. 5 of these 7 runs today for Brockton have come with 2 outs. 4 of the 7 ended up coming when the first 2 batters of the inning were retired. So 3 different times at a total of 4 runs did Florence get the first 2 outs of an inning, and then Brockton rallied to score. Runner on first, 2 outs here for Kretzler. Actually, that was Kretzler on the fly out. This is Jack Thomas. Wold fouls it back. Wold at first base today, 0 for 3. Fly out, line out, pop up. Spent some time with the New York Mets organization, the St. Lucie Mets. Working on an 0 for 7 series now. Did have one of those RBI walks that Lotus gave up yesterday. Runner takes off for second. Fastball in. Throw from Beadle is way off line, and it gets into right field. And now he will take off for third. It is Groundhog Day in these innings. Florence gets 2 outs. There's somehow a runner over at first base, and he steals second base. Sometimes getting over to third on a defensive mistake for somebody with Florence. And a runner 90 feet away, still 2 outs of the inning. Lotus trying to get out of the inning scoreless would be the first of the game. Bold hitting 270, does have 6 homers. Pitch was inside, so 1-1. Grounder back to the right side. Over in a shift. Baker picks up the shortstop. It throws to first in time to get Lotus out of it. The first scoreless inning of the game for Florence pitching comes in the bottom of the 7th. Brockton still leads by 1 as we go to the 8th. Florence down to the last 6 outs on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Two more chances for Florence to avoid drop of the series here at Brockton, a 7-6 deficit. Now we've reached the top of the 8th, and this might be the best opportunity. It's 2-3-4 in the Florence lineup with Brett Blomquist starting things off at a first pitch strike on another Hooves Hangout pitching change for the Rocks. They call on a right-hander. They've gone lefty-righty a lot. Blomquist lines one right into the glove of the third baseman, Giordano. One down in the inning. Hank Zeisler with a huge opportunity. Go out to have a chat. Let's talk about maybe switching up some signs or
First baseman, number 13.
talking about how to handle Zeisler. It is the first time of the series we will see Matthew Rivera. He's got a 7.25 ERA in 36 innings this year, 26 strikeouts in 36 innings. Fastball, cold strike on the inside corner to Zeisler to start him off 0-1. Got a big first out on decent contact for Blomquist, but Zeisler is 3 for 4 today with an RBI. Couple of singles and a ground rule double. Changeup misses in. Florence now down to the last 5 outs. Again, Brockton bullpen burned, especially after that long game yesterday. Florence in a similar spot, though. So Jet Lotus come back in. Fastball misses again, getting away from Slight on back-to-back pitches. 2-1 here on Zeisler. Florence pitching finally got a scoreless inning in the bottom of the 7th. Brockton has scored at least one of the first 6 and a 2-run spot back in the 4th for a total of 7 runs. Florence 6 today, make it 7-6. Zeisler down to right field. If it's fair, it's gone, and that ball is fair. Tie game. Hank Zeisler with a huge game-tying homer. Just 81 off the bat. I think they got that wrong on TrackMan, but that wall was crushed over the right field wall. And we are tied at 7. Last night we saw Zade Richardson do something similar in a 1-run game in the top of the 7th instead of the 8th. Now Richardson comes up. The 19th homer of the season for Zeisler, 83rd RBI, the league leader in ribbies. It's 7-7. First pitch to Richardson's cold strike at the knees. How about this day from Zeisler? He's now 4 for 5, 2 singles, a double, and a home run, and now 2 RBIs, the biggest hit of the game. That bounces all the way to the plate. Richardson left it alone, 2-0's the count. Florence pitching, it doesn't have much left of the tank, so this is not a situation where you just want to be content tying it. If you have an opportunity, you want to try to pounce again. 2 balls and nothing on Richardson. Off speed, cold strike on the outside corner. Florence has a knack for responding. We saw a similar situation yesterday. Could we see extra innings again? That would be just nuts. Both teams will be in rough shape for tomorrow pitching-wise. I think I might have to pitch. 1-2 the count here on Zate. Slider misses outside, evens the count up at 2-2. It's the first homer of the game for either team. It's the 4th now of the series for Florence. This one laced right back up the middle, and he follows that up with a single. Still 1 out in the inning. It brings up Brendan Bobo, who did the tying last time with the bases loaded and 1 out. He laced a single to the left side that scored 2. And he tied it up at 6-6. With the go-ahead run now over at first base in a 7-7 tie, all thanks to the captain, Hank Zeisler. And just knew that at some point of the series he was going to have a moment like that. First pitch, fastball low and in. Sergeant Bilko says Hank has been red hot since mid-June, it seems. July, he meant. Well, yeah, I mean, a 15 for 24 week last week is certainly going to help that. Not sure what the exact numbers are since the All-Star break. Might have to do some research there. Rivera needed a new ball. 1-0 on Bobo. Breaking pitch inside again that gets away from Slight. And now the go-ahead run at scoring position. You know, not exactly wild pitches because not all of them have come with runners on base, but that I think is the fourth ball of the inning that's gotten to the backstop. First one now with runner on base. It's a 2-0 count here for Bobo. Reached a second time and hit by pitch. He's 1 for 3 with the 2 RBIs. Florence now out hitting Brockton 14-9, but again, the small ball really playing a big part for Brockton. Get me over pitch on the 2-0. Fastball down the middle of the plate. Just in the biggest moments, Zeisler comes through. One, high foul down the third base side. Florence trying to ruin boxing night here for Brockton. They've been calling them the Marcianos all night. That's the jerseys they're wearing. Both teams wearing black uniforms. Florence with Marcianos across the chest and blue numbering. Brockton with Hagler across the chest. Bobo out in front of the breaking ball, down on strikes. Second time Bobo struck out today. His fourth multi-strikeout game of the last 5. So it was a pretty nuts pitch. 72 miles an hour on the curveball. Really good-looking one from Rivera with a ton of movement. Still a chance for Florence to take the lead now with 2 outs at Garrett Broussard. Another curveball finds the zone called strike. This one at 69. Broussard's in a slump. Struck out 3 times today. 0 for 4. Did have a base hit yesterday on an RBI single. The 0-1. Another curveball this time. Can't find the zone. It's high. Well, Rivera doesn't strike out a ton of batters. Just 26 in his 36 innings. But opponents hitting .319 against him. Comes back fastball out of the 2 curveballs, 87 low. Puts Broussard ahead of this count now, 2-1. It was a 3-0 lead for Brockton before Florence scored 2 in the top of the 4th. Brockton responded with 2 of their own to get that lead back up to 3, 6-3. And they're kind of trading runs. Florence gets 1 to make it 6-4. As Broussard lines one out to center, and it's caught on a sprint from White. White going a long way to save a run and keep this game tied going to the bottom of the 8th. But Hank Zeisler, the captain for Florence, does his job. We go to the bottom of the 8th, tied again on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Florence going right back to Jet Lotus in a tied 7-7 game courtesy of Hank Zeisler in the top half of the 8th. Down to our last 5 outs with 1 out. Hank Zeisler at a no-doubter into right field. The only doubt was if it was fair or foul, and it ended up being well fair. Here's 8-9-1 for Brockton that has really produced a lot for the Rocks today. Eddie Javier, the former Florence Yalls, to start things off. He's only 0 for 2, reached on a walk and has scored today. Lotus 2/3 of an inning. Back in the 7th. First pitch is behind him. Did it hit him? I don't think it did. No signal from the home plate umpire, Will Naleski. That ball actually got behind him. We see this from Lotus. And he's had an awesome year, but he has some walks, and he definitely has some wild pitches. He's usually just very good at working around it, not giving up hits. Fastball punched fair down the right field line. That tucks in the corner. Javier around first, still not getting to it in right. And Bobo's having trouble with it. Javier's around second, and he will get all the way to third. Oh, the tag did not get him. And now Garrett Broussard is frustrated, saying that he got the tag down. Had to take a look at the replay. Pleading his case, and this is obviously the biggest call of the game. Here we go. We take a look on HTN. I don't think from that view it looked like he got him. And Toby Hall's out to argue. But this one's not going to be overturned. The go-ahead run stands 90 feet away with nobody out. Lotus left to work through some damage. Yeah, I really don't think that he has much of a case there, unfortunately. Short argument out for Hall. This outfield has had a really tough time this week, playing hops and bounces off the wall. I don't know if it's a short fence that really has played a part in it today. Bobo had struggles with it in the right field corner. And that actually ended up being an incredible throw from Bobo to even have a chance. Bruce started to come up the line and try to get an acrobatic tag down. He missed him. I think just because of the misplay, it's not an error, so it is a leadoff triple here for Javier, who stands 90 feet away as the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 8th. Infield comes in with nobody out. You got to think a team that's played incredible small ball all season long, it's got a good chance of getting this running. First pitch, breaking ball, punched foul down the first base line. It's Keegan Calero. He's been on base all 3 times, a single, a hit by pitch, and a walk. At least this time it didn't come with 2 outs. At least hasn't yet. 5 of Brockton's 7 runs to this point with 2 outs. Long foul ball, make it 0-1. Change-ups, popped up, shallow center. Going back as Blomquist. Bobo makes a diving play, spectacular catch, but it will allow the run to score. And that is one, if the infield is back, it's a pop-up that probably Blomquist catches in shallow right, and there probably isn't a score. It's shallow enough. It's just the fact that Bobo had to dive, and he made an outstanding catch. That's how the run came home. And Brockton leads 8-7 with more small ball. A sac fly. That is how they did Florence in last night. Base is empty. 1 gone in the inning now. Brockton has just played really good baseball all weekend long. I don't know how this team is 34-42. Patrick McCormick's going to go out and check on Bobo out in right field. Bobo had an awkward fall, and Bobo says he's all right. Yeah, it's just hard to get frustrated. Obviously, Florence is not pitched it well this weekend. You know, it's just one of those things where not enough strikeouts, which is weird to say. Obviously, you coach it to just trust your defense, get the balls at play. But Brockton has taken advantage of every single opportunity that they've gotten this week. And they lead 8-7 with nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Florence is back. Will have to go back to work in the top of the 9th. First pitch strike here to White. top of the lineup for Brockton. My question does become, who does Brockton go to? They've exhausted all their best relievers. Brendan O'Donnell, 2 innings and a third. I highly doubt they can go back to him tonight. 2 and a third yesterday, that is. Slider finds the zone. Lotus starts wide off 0-2. Death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, that's what I've been calling it all game. No homers in this series yet for Brockton. They've scored 19 runs. You know, a little bit of, command lost. 2 of those 19 runs have been walked in. But other than that, I mean, the other 17 runs are all either sacrifice plays or just RBI singles or doubles. No balls, 2 strikes. Slider misses out. White left it alone. Not only is Florence trying to avoid snapping the 6-game series win streak, this would also be the first series they drop to an Atlantic Conference team. 1-2. Big swing and a miss. Lotus got the strikeout. It comes a batter too late. 2 gone to the inning, though. Derek Bender could be the last batter of the night for Brockton. First pitch serves into left center. Sends Brodell back. Couple of hops, and Bender will take off for second as again Brodell misplays it at center. Not sure if he would get to second anyway. I'll give the Florence outfield a little bit of slack because this, it's just not the greatest grass. Playing most of their games on turf, and then you get out here, and the field, you can just see it is in pretty tough shape. Still 2 down. Scott Seeker's got a chance to give him some insurance with Derek Bender at scoring position. The 11th hit of the day for Brockton. And the 3rd, and 5 attempts for Bender. He's also reached on a hit by pitch. Slider connects, outside corner, strike to Seeker. RBI triple in the first. It's been quiet since. Fastball inside corner this time, 0-2. Brockton has scored at 7 of the 8 innings of baseball today. Only 1 multi-run inning to this point. It was a 2-run 4th. Florence has a 3-run inning and a 2-run inning. That's 5 of their 7 runs. 8-7 Brockton lead in the bottom of the 8th. 0-2 count here on Seeker. Slider foul back. Well, I'll tell you what. Obviously, this game's not over and series not over. Still got another game tomorrow, whatever happens. After we get out of here tomorrow, it feels weird saying this about a 34-42 team. I am going to be very happy to not have to see the Brockton Rocks again. And I can almost say that definitively. They're 7 games out of a playoff spot in the Atlantic. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Lotus went downstairs and got 2 strikeouts. You needed the strikeouts in that situation. But, of course, Brockton gets the sac fly they need to take an 8-7 lead. Florence down to their last 3 outs. It's the bottom third of the lineup. They try to keep this game going on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Who's saying out pitching change for Brockton. Looking for the perfect spot to relax and open your favorite baseball or Pokemon trading cards. Got to visit former Reds reliever J.J. Hoover at Who's Saying Out today, 405 Washington Street, Suite D in Alexandria. Brendan Bell is the new pitcher for Brockton, a 5.7 ERA and 23 2/3. He is not the Brockton closer. That's Brendan O'Donnell, who was used for 2 innings and a third yesterday. 8-7 Brockton lead at the top of the ninth. Last chance for Florence to salvage a tie and save the series at least after dropping in extras yesterday, 11-10. Marcus Brodell to start. Breaking ball low for ball 1. Comes back fastball, catches the piece of the zone for a strike. Brockton was down 7-6 going into last inning. Hank Zeisler hit a solo shot to right to tie things up, but Brockton a triple and a sac fly to do it. Give them an 8-7 lead. Early on it, Brodell grounds one foul to the Florence dugout, now down 1-2. 2 singles on the day for Brodell after a 3-run homer yesterday with 4 RBIs. He's got an RBI on one of his singles today. 8 homers on the season now. Got the righty on lefty matchup here. Fastball low. Brodell left it alone. We're even at 2. Now, Brockton hasn't won a series in their last 5 attempts. Florence has not won or lost a series in their last 7 attempts. 2-2. Brodell ropes one, but a perfectly played ball over to second, and Javier's got it with a throw to first. Florence down to the last 2 outs. Pretty well hit there for Brodell. 85 off the bat, but the shift for Javier put him in outfield grass, really close to the first base bag, far away from second, and he made the play. Dylan Baker, Brockton will play him pretty straight up. Fastball, Baker takes the first pitch down the right field line, dropping in for a hit all the way into the corner. Baker stops at first. A really good play and right by Seeker to save him from going extra bases. And now Zach Beadle comes up. Game-tying run on base for Florence. In the form of Baker, a huge base hit for him. That is a 3-hit day now for Dylan Baker. That one just 76 miles an hour off the bat. Beadle's had a tough day, although he has a single. He's 1 for 4. It's just 3 strikeouts ever since that single. And obviously, really no pinch hit options for Florence outside of Kyle Harbison. First pitch, 82-mile-an-hour slider at the knees for a strike. Got decent movement on that. 14 inches horizontal break for Bell. Another righty. Fastball nowhere close to the zone. Beadle went after it. That was actually a changeup in the dirt. And Beadle's down here 0-2. Rock fans on their feet. A double play could do it. Just missed. Low, 1-2. Baker runs well at first. Anything in the gap's got a chance. 1-2 outside again. Really good eye by Beadle. Make him throw you a strike. Obviously, you have to protect here with 2 strikes. It gets difficult. For Zach Beadle, whose 1 home run this season was a huge one. That ended up being the difference and a win over Gateway to clinch the series. Does he have another big moment in him? Another 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Good piece there for Beadle. Milo Rushford stands on deck. Unless there's a double play, he'll have a chance. Baker off of first. Another 2-2. Fastball, outside, ball 3. Had to take a breath and wait. Naleski has had some late ring-ups. That ball did not connect on TrackMan. And some moans and groans from the Brockton dugout. Trailing by 1. Game-tying run at first base. 1 out, top of the 9th. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Beetle down on strikes for the 4th time today. Another changeup, bottom of the zone. And that was ball 4. It was actually well below the zone. That Beetle went after again, just couldn't lay off. And Florence is down to their last out. Without Baker in scoring position, he's still over at first. It's Milo Rushford, who has had a good day. He's reached 3 times on a couple of walks and a single. He is nailed on the foot. Fastball ran way inside. And immediately, Naleski at home plate calls for the training staff. Rushford down on the dirt. Patrick McCormick, the Florence trainer. Toby Hall going out to look at it. Oof. Did not look pretty. And again, Florence does not have many options on the bench. Kyle Harbison is the only position player. If this is a pinch run situation, at least for now, what you could do is pinch run a pitcher that's down. He'll get helped out by Hall and McCormick. And will walk down to first base, at least attempt to. And he does, just taking off his shin guards. So Rushford's going to stay in this game after getting hit with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball square on the foot. And that does move the game-tying run to scoring position. First at second, 2 outs, and Brett Blomquist at the plate. They're going to wait to see if Rushford really can. He's going to do some jogs over down the first base line to make sure he's okay. And he'll give another thumbs up. He'll be at first. He would act as the go-ahead run. Florence not worried about that right now. They just need some sort of base hit. Should score Baker, as long as it's deep enough. Blomquist a couple of walks today, still looking for his first hit. Florence down to their last out. First pitch is upstairs for a ball. Also could think about just getting on base with Hank Zeisler on deck. He was the one who tied this game up at 7 with a solo homer just an inning ago. 1-0. Punched foul down the first base line, up and out of play, or even a 1-1. Florence still sitting pretty right now in a playoff spot, 45-31, 14 games over 500. And they are 17-3 since the All-Star break. This will be their first series loss since the break. That one's in the dirt, but a good block by Slight keeps runners put. Puts Blomquist ahead 2-1. Every single pitch, everybody at the stadium holding their breath. Much better crowd tonight here to end the game than we had last night. Backbreaker for Florence last night. And lost 11-10 in extra innings. Set of the belt for the 2-1. Is punched down the right field line, tailing foul, and is just foul out of play. Ooh. Even at 2s, 2-2, 88 miles an hour off the bat on the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Blomquist just a tad late. Now they're down to their last strike. Baker at second, Rushford at first after the hit by pitch. Zeisler, all he can do is wait on deck. Takes a deep side, comes home. It bounces, and another good block by Slight. We're full now. Heavy fastball dosage from Bell. He slipped off the mound, it looked like, when he threw that pitch. It was way low and outside. Again, a really good block by Slight. 3-2, needs to throw a strike. Does he go back to the fastball? He doesn't want to see Zeisler on deck. Blomquist, though, has 52 RBIs on the season. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Florence leaves a couple on and drops the series to Brockton here in Brockton. Another one-run loss. The fourth loss for Florence since the All-Star break. All four of them have been by one run. They've been walked off in two of them. Gave up a game-winning home run to the top of the ninth at home in the other. And then this one had the game-tying run at second in the bottom or the top of the ninth and could not get it done. It's just a funny conversation because, again, still 17-4 since the All-Star break, but just the way they have lost these games since the break have been back-breaking. Still, 13 games over 500. They fall to 45-32 on the season. Drop their first and only series to an Atlantic Conference team. Brockton gets up to 35-42 on the year now. Got a big one. This maybe give them some confidence moving forward. Again, this is a better baseball team than I think their record shows, at least the baseball that they've played this weekend, especially that they've gotten out of some of their All-Stars, so they have some good players. But that will do it here from Game 2 on this Saturday night. Decent offense again for Florence. RBI on the solo shot from Zeisler. Richardson went 2 for 3, had himself another RBI. Brendan Bobo 1 for 3 with a two-run single. Brodell an RBI single. Two-hit day for Dylan Baker, but just not enough. C.J. Blowers couldn't make it out of the fourth because of an injury. And Brockton came up to the plate 8 times this game. They scored in 7 of those 8 attempts. Just one of those innings being a multi-run inning. And they got 5 of their 8 runs with 2 outs. 4 of them coming, in an inning where there were 2 outs with nobody on base. Just really good small ball, a lot of bunts, a couple of sac flies. And again, it's the sac fly that does Florence in. Loss will go to Jet Lotus, his first loss of the season. 2/3 of an inning. They don't give him an earned run on here. I'm not sure why. Maybe because they gave Florence an error. But an inning and a third for Jake Lynch. 1-run baseball. An inning and 2/3 for Logan Jones. 2 earned. And C.J. Blowers got the start. Had to exit with the injury. 3 1/3, 3 earned runs on 5 hits. That does it for tonight. One more game here in Brockton, as I'm sure Florence is just ready to get home. They tried to salvage a game in the series tomorrow. First pitch, 3:30. It's kind of an awkward one. We'll be live at 3:20. But appreciate everyone for tuning in. Once again, it's Ben Haller with you on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN and the Florence Y'all's Radio Network audio stream on YouTube. Y'all have a good night.